We are coming to you live for the game. This is the second day. No? Good morning to all of our viewers. We're coming to you live from King City, Ontario for the second day of the National T20 Championships. We have for you Manitoba and Nova Scotia going head-to-head this morning, and Nova Scotia won the toss and elected to bowl first. Rao into the attack for Manitoba, or for Nova Scotia, and that was a beautiful delivery. There's good pace, good carry. The pitch is looking good this morning. 3 games yesterday on the same pitch, and I think it's starting to settle down a little bit, especially after all of the unpredictable bounce and turn that we had last week against the Nepal series. And that's the first over gone. Manitoba 9 for no loss after their first over. Not a bad start for Manitoba. Of course, 5 more overs to go in the power play, and I'm sure they're going to look to capitalize this effort from here on. Manitoba and Nova Scotia, of course, quite a fair distance apart from each other. Nova Scotia on the eastern side of the country, Manitoba more central. And Nova Scotia's first outing at this tournament, as they are starting to grow the sport in their province. Not sure if some of these players would have seen much of each other as of yet. Some of them might be seeing each other play the first time in this tournament. So a lot of learning, a lot of reading, a lot of understanding for both sides to do. And coming in for the second over is Akash Airy. Oh, and that struck beautifully down the ground by Kamaljot Singh for a maximum. For 4 runs. That was beautifully picked up, and Singh has opened his account up in style. Akash Airy under some pressure as soon as he's come in to have a bowl. Unfortunately, that's a wide. Airy not quite finding the line and length that he would have hoped to start this morning off with. Oh, and that was some bad luck again going the bowler's way. A big outside edge, and that goes for 4 over the third man boundary. I'm joined by Arslan Kadir this morning. RC, how are you?
Well, thanks, Manali. It's been a good start so far to this game. The Storms have stayed away, and we've managed to start the game on time. Manitoba getting off to a good start here. 18 for no loss after 1.2. The 2 boundaries really helping them here. Nova Scotia's going to have to pull this back early, and he's going after it again. This time driven through the covers beautifully. It's not going to go all the way. Cover fielder getting a hand on it. And great fielding there by Nova Scotia, restricting it to just 1. So again, a lot of noise this morning. It is a cool morning as well. So Nova Scotia winning the toss and choosing to bowl. Manali on a used wicket. What do you think of that call?
Yeah, they've seen what the wicket is playing like yesterday. We've seen it 3 games in a row, and I think it's settled down a bit. So it is an interesting call. It's quite breezy this morning, and and as we say that is sweeped down to fine leg for a quick double. We haven't seen much pace from them yet, just that first over. And spinners have got a new ball, but you know what? For the ball to do anything, I think the spinners are going to have to find their line and length. They're a little bit all over the place this morning.
And as you say that, that's beautifully stumped. Beautifully stumped by my namesake, Arslan Khan, with the stumping, completing that. And beautifully bowled by Akash Airy. He went for a few, but wasn't afraid to toss it up, and he earns the reward. Well bowled and well done by my namesake, Arslan Khan. That's the wicket Nova Scotia was looking for. 21 for 1 now after 1.5. Just pegging it back a little bit, hopefully, for Nova Scotia with that wicket, Manali.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the start that Nova Scotia would have hoped for, to try and get in a couple of early wickets in the power play overs, try and limit the runs as much as they can. And Manitoba was looking good, but unfortunately, Akash Airy walking back to the pavilion, 6 runs off of 6 deliveries this morning, not quite able to make the impact that he wanted to. And walking in now is Sarbjot Singh. Nova Scotia starting their campaign yesterday against Ontario, and it was definitely a good effort from them, having to play against such a experienced and strong side as Ontario. Today I think they'll feel a little more comfortable going against the likes of Manitoba, who are, I would say, not as strong as Ontario, probably along the same likes as Nova Scotia. Akash Airy coming in for his final ball of the over. And that's defended on the front foot by Sarbjot Singh. That's the end of the second over. Manitoba 21 for 1. RC, how was your drive this morning? Got some traffic. The rain's kept away.
The rain's kept away. The drive was okay. The raccoon in my garbage last night, that didn't go so well. So it's been a fun morning so far, but we're here in King City, Ontario. The sun is shining, Manali. There's a little bit of a breeze, so it's not too hot. This is a little bit of a cooler day, so this is perfect weather for me. And some good cricket on today, hopefully. So we had a great thriller of a game that you missed last night. You had to leave a little bit early, but it was an absolute thriller to end the evening between Saskatchewan and BC. Saskatchewan taking British Columbia right down to the wire. Ravinder Pal Singh finishing it off with a boundary in the end of the 19th over. As this one is pulled high in the air. Short leg delivery. It's not going to go all the way. Falls between 2 fielders, and Kamaljot Singh managing adding 2 to score. So he's not shying away from this effort here, Manali. He's going to go after it, and his job here is to get his team off to a start, and he's doing it beautifully. 12 off 6 threes. Adnan Rao, he's got to get a wicket for his team here. He wants to get on the... Akash Airy did it from the other end. He's going to want one from this end. You know, there's always a little bit of a jealousy in terms of bowling, especially when you see your partner get a wicket. You always want one against your name as well.
Oh, and that looks like a wide. Unfortunately, we're talking about wickets, but Rao is adding some wides to his name. Yeah, you definitely were in a very entertaining game yesterday evening as I left. I was following it on the way home, and I really did not expect BC to be in the situation that they were towards the end. So all credit to Saskatchewan. You never really know what's going to happen in a game, and they obviously kept the pressure on. Oh, and that's well bowled by Rao. And Kamaljot Singh just playing that onto the leg side for a quick single. Manitoba, one of the newer provinces as well in this tournament. Demographic-wise, they've got a fairly small population. Well bowled again by Anand Rao, nice and full, and all Sarbjot Singh can do is defend it back to the bowler. Yet to get off the mark, Sarbjot Singh faced 2 deliveries.
think there was a run in that if they wanted to. They had to be alert, and that's one thing you have to do in T20 cricket is be alert and take every opportunity for singles. Kamal Jot's going well here. Sarbjot's got to get his innings off to a start here in the power play. And as we see that's down the leg side. Adnan Rao straight down the leg side. He's got a little bit of pace. Not quite the pace that we saw yesterday from some of the BC and obviously from Saskatchewan's captain Sarmar Lenwar. But he's got a little bit of pace, and he's got to use the advantage here early. There is a little bit of wind, a little bit of breeze going across the ground. That's going to be helping the in-swing. But he's got to take advantage of this wicket here and look to strike a second wicket here from Manitoba against Manitoba in the power play. And as we say that, he's corrected his line, but just too far down the other side. So Adnan Rao now he's got to get his compass out now, Manali, and hit right. They played a game yesterday morning. The morning yesterday, and they got a lot of rest as well. So some of the teams having to play 2 games yesterday. Nova Scotia getting rest yesterday, and then Manitoba only playing the 1 game as well. They both played Ontario yesterday, so somebody's going to get into the wins column, and I know both of these teams are hoping it's going to be them. And see this one is short, and Kamal and Sarbjot says, I'll get my account off in style. And in style he does. He gets an embrace from Kamal Jot as well, as that's gone all the way for 6 over the covers on the square leg boundary. Adjusting lines, adjusting lengths, Adnan Rao just a little bit all over the place, and Sarbjot says thank you very much.
I'm not really understanding this field placement, RC. If he is looking to bowl the short ball here and there, they have no protection at the deep square leg or deep mid-wicket boundary. So if the batsman gets a hold of that's going to the boundary regardless. No protection whatsoever deep on the leg side. Oh, and that's a full toss, and unfortunately that goes for another 6, and it's a no ball. This is not going in the right direction for Adnan Rao. This is turning into a very, very expensive over, and we now have a free hit on our hands, and Sarbjot Singh is he's going to like the free hit. He's finally opened his account. He's looking comfortable, smashing 2 6s, and now he's got a free license to go for it.
He absolutely does, and this is a very aggressive field from Manitoba. From Nova Scotia, sorry. The slip in place and a gully. Not something you typically see in T20 cricket. The 2 men out are at third man and final leg. I don't see anything wrong with that, but I would like to see a little bit more cover for Adnan Rao, but unfortunately with the free hit now, can't change the field. So we'll see where Sarbjot can deliver here for us. 2 in a row, and he's looking to go for a third. Adnan Rao trying to bowl that wide Yorker, but he's going to have to bowl that free hit once again. So this over, it started out decent enough, but he's lost the plot here at the end, has Adnan Rao. There was a lot of overnight rain, Manali. As you can see, the towels going out on the field after that no ball, trying to get that, ensure that ball is dry. And that's why I was surprised with the decision that Nova Scotia took in winning the toss and asking Manitoba to bat first. See the free hit this time, and it miscues. Looks to be potentially just a leg by, so he gets away with the free hit. And it is going to be a leg by, so misses out on the free hit, but he's not going to be too upset with that. 2 6s in the over for him, and that's the end of the over. And after 3 overs, Manitoba off to an absolute flyer. Not going to be too disappointed with that wicket, as they're 42 for 1. A little bit of confusion as Adnan Rao wants nothing to do with this over as he's walking away, but they're asking him to come back. He's got one more delivery, a number of wides and a number of wides, and no ball in that as well. So this is going to be the 10th ball of the over, 11th ball of the over, sorry. You see Adnan Rao coming in now to Kamal Jot, and this one watchful for Kamal Jot, but this is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the over, Manali. And this is brilliant from Kamal Jot. He's a smaller stature man. You know, we've seen these guys, the Parthiv Patels of the world. They're very wristy, but very quick between the wickets. And Kamal Jot is showing he's cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, this is very smart batting. They've managed to latch onto the bad deliveries and dispatch them, and look to rotate the strike whenever possible. Very, very good start for Manitoba here, as they're 43 for 1 after the first 3 overs. Adnan Rao going for a very expensive over, 22 runs coming off of that, and Manitoba making the most of their power play. 3 overs to go with the fielding restrictions, as Akash Airy comes in to bowl his second. Picked up a wicket in his first over, however has also gone for 12 runs. Oh, and that is hit uppishly, and it is carved over, covers for a 6. That's quite an incredible shot, up and over.
Very impressive, and I just talked about his stature a little while ago, Manali, and he doesn't need much of an invitation to cut and pull as Kamal Jyoth. Slightly short and wide, and he's going to look to go over the top, and that's a beautiful shot, over point for 6. So again, Manitoba looking really impressive here, Manali. The teams that you wouldn't expect to be favorites going into this tournament, they've been impressive so far in each game that we've seen. And Nova Scotia here under the pump for Manitoba, 49 for 1 and 3.1. They've got to peg this back, especially in the power play. This game's going to get out of hand as Kamal Jyoth now, this time, hitting it down to long on. There is a man there, so just a single. He would have liked to get that wider through mid-wicket where he was aiming, but just too far outside off to get it there. But Kamal Jyoth looks like he's in the mood today, and Sarbjot has joined him, and he got 2 freebies to hit in that last over, so we'll see what he wants to do with this off spin.
Yeah, good batting again. He was able to hit a 6 and then just get off of strike. Of course, he would have liked a few more runs off that previous delivery, but not bad. That's a good comeback by Airy after going for a few runs. And Sarbjot Singh just defends that back. They're not looking to take any rash runs or risks. And as I say that, he has smashed that towards long on, and they are coming back for 2 quick runs. This is good running. They're putting the fielders under pressure early. They're looking to run those runs hard. We of course had this discussion yesterday with BC not doing a lot of that, and that 1% factor that we were talking about. Oh, and that is a swing and a miss, and Sarbjot Singh just taking a second to regroup before Akash Airy's next delivery.
Yeah, you can see Kamal Jyoth after that one saying as you see him going again, and Sarbjot looking to go, favors the leg side, looking to go after that previous delivery. Kamal Jyoth coming down and telling him, you're better off going through the offside. The ball's outside off, it's not turning, there's no fielders out there. You're better off going that way. And I think that's the right call from Kamal Jyoth. So he's showing his experience here as well. Kamal Jyoth, he's in now. He's 21 off 10, 1 6 and 2 4s. Sarbjot 14 off 9 with his 2 6s, 52 for 1 in 4 overs. Manali, Manitoba looking to repeat what BC did in the first game yesterday. Look to get a score of over 200.
Yeah, what an incredible start. Just 4 overs in, they've already brought up their 50, and they brought it up with authority. Sarbjot Singh, however, those last couple of deliveries, just looking to slog sweep down. We have our first bowling change coming in, Girdhar, and he bowls that short and wide, and unfortunately that's put away for yet another boundary. Kamaljot Singh taking a liking to this bowling. Nova Scotia's really got to work on their line and length. Unfortunately, they're just not bowling the right areas this morning, and Manitoba is saying, thank you very much. We're going to take this and make the most of it. Much better delivery by Girdhar as he pitches that good length, and Kamaljot Singh, big stride out, defended for a dot.
This one short again. This one played away. Oh, perilously close to that fielder down there at backward point. But Kamal Jyoth, as we mentioned, doesn't need much of an invitation on that short ball, as we saw with the first delivery here. Sarbjot, they've got 2 men out for him on the leg side and long on. and deep mid-wicket. They had 2 men out for Kamaljot on the leg side as well. I would like to see a man out on cover for Kamaljot. As this one, Sarbjot this time taking the advice of Kamaljot, going over the offside, not quite connecting. The man at cover going back and going to chase it down, so it'll be 2 runs to Sarbjot. Looks less comfortable playing through that offside. Slip still in place to Sarbjot, and this one skidding on. It is still a new ball. It's been hit around the park, but it's still a new ball, so that ball is not going to be much turn out there early on. You may get some, it may skid on, so good comeback delivery from Mandeep Gurdar. And this one is pitched up, low full toss. All Sarbjot can do is hit it down the ground straight to mid-off. Boundary off that first ball did Gurdar, but only going for 70 over, so a good comeback. And that's the kind of over that Nova Scotia would have hoped for when they called his name to come in and bowl in the power play. So 1 over left, Manali, 59 for 1. 69 was the best score in the Manitoba, on pace to get over that.
Yeah, the way they're going, 69 is definitely on the... Oh, and well bowled and well watched by Kamaljot Singh. Big stride forward. I'm quite impressed with the maturity that the batting so far. They've picked and chosen the balls that they want to go for. And oh, that's pitched up and can't get under it, unfortunately, and just played back to the bowler. They've really, their shot selection has been very smart, RC. They haven't really taken too many risks, haven't really needed to take too many risks, just capitalizing on bad bowling whenever offered.
And this one's been now carved away through mid-wicket. This is going to go all the way. The chase is going to be in vain. And Kamaljot says, I'm not going to let you bowl to me. He's been very impressive so far in this innings as Kamaljot Singh not allowing the bowlers to bowl to him. He's going to go after him here in the power play, maneuvering the field. And again, a change in the field as now the 2 men out on the leg side. The fielder on the offside comes in. And this is what you call maneuvering the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes over the offside this time. As I say that, he does, and he does so beautifully, hitting it over the top of point. That's gone all the way for Kamaljot Singh. And Manali, as I mentioned, impressive stuff. He's watching where this field is going, and the captain's lost right now, because where he brings his field, that's where Kamaljot is going.
Yeah, very impressed with this batting. He is thinking out there. You can see that he's picking and choosing his gaps, picking and choosing what part of the ground he wants. And oh my gosh, picked up again, beautifully over covers this time, and that is Akash Airy is going for quite a few, unfortunately, and just like that, Kamaljot Singh is at 42. 42 off of just 18 deliveries, and Manitoba 75, and with a delivery to go.
We said 69 was in trouble from BC's score in the power play yesterday, and it certainly is, as Manitoba now the leg side, and Kamaljot watchful, looking for that single. But again, this is an impressive power play from Manitoba, 75 for 1. Kamaljot Singh looking very impressive. He's been joined by Sarbjot Singh, who's got those 2 sixes away, but besides that, he's looked a bit pensive. So we'll see. He's got to get his innings off to a start, and this might help him here to be able to rotate the strike. The one thing that's been really impressive with Kamaljot is his ability to maneuver the field. And that becomes even more important now after the power play. With 5 men allowed to be out on the boundary, he's got to know what his boundary options are. But I
couldn't agree with you more with Sarbjot Singh. He's got the right intentions, but he definitely seems more comfortable playing on the leg than he is on the off. However, now the look to do exactly what his batting partner is doing, maneuvering that field, hitting the gaps, and continuing to rotate the strike. Manitoba 75 for 1 after their first 6 overs. The previous over going for 16 runs. Very expensive. And into the attack, Girdhar. Oh, and that is smashed. Massive shot.
Yeah, we said it in the last over. He looks more comfortable hitting over the leg side than he does the offside. Certainly looks more comfortable. As our camera's taking a little bit of a ricochet off that ball, but it seems to be okay. Shorter side, and Sarbjot just getting off strike. That's good cricket there. Hit the boundary, get off strike. That's what you want to see from Sarbjot Singh. Rotate the strike. hit the boundaries when they're there. And Jot Singh, who's been absolutely on fire though so far this morning, 42 off 19 for him. And this one hit over the offside, over point. It's into a gap. They're going to run hard for this. They're going to be able to come back for two easily. And again, Kamaljot Singh able to find those gaps. He's not going to slow down here for his team. They know that they have the opportunity to put a massive total on the board, and they're going to take every opportunity to do so.
Yeah, very, very smart batting here. And Kamaljot Singh, I'm sure, is going to be looking to get his half century up. And gosh, he's going at a strike rate of 220. Just 20 deliveries used for his 44 runs. Oh, and sent back by...
Two noises on that one, Manali. Two noises on that one, so I don't know if that was a drop catch or not. And this one is pitched up. It is a full toss. Oh, and nearly off the hands onto the stumps. That would have been disastrous for Sarbjot Singh. Not the way you want to go, especially in the national championships. So this has been, again, another decent comeback. His first ball seems to go for boundaries, and then he comes back with absolutely brilliant deliveries. And Mandeep Girdhar, again, besides that first ball, has bowled a very decent over. The score now 84 for 1 after 7, so they're not slowing down. 9 runs coming off that over. And again, just that one boundary. We saw this yesterday with some of the bowlers as well, as they're getting hit for that one boundary ball in the over, but the rest of the over is good. If they got one boundary ball, and if they can put 6 great balls together, and unfortunately there for Girdhar in the 2 overs so far, he hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, one boundary every over is... They're giving runs away at 12 runs and over, and I think we're looking at a very big total if these two guys can continue going the way they are. And we have another bowling change coming in is Arun Nag.
Saying you're not going to get this easy, and that's the kind of start you want. It brings the energy, and you can already hear it in the field. Just the energy from the bowling itself. And Nova Scotia, they desperately need a wicket here from Arun Nag. A little bit of flight from Arun Nag. The other thing, Manali, with Mandeep Girdhar's over is when you get hit for a boundary early on in the over, especially the first ball, you're fighting back in that over, so you're coming from behind. Strike. So the two dot balls early in the over, and now Arun Nag fighting to make sure that he doesn't let go of another boundary here in this over. So again, early on in the over, first 2 to 3 balls, you want to get a boundary, and it really sets up the over for you as a batting team.
Hit any risky shots so far, and I'm quite impressed that Manitoba's got the caliber that they brought out today. And that's a repeat of the previous shot. Might not make it for a 4. Oh, and unfortunately it does. Just trickled over the boundary. Another sweep for 4 runs, and just like that, 8 runs off the over. RC, they're ticking along and scoring these boundaries very easily. Unfortunately, Manitoba is putting Nova Scotia under some serious pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Nova Scotia's got to fight back here. As this one is pitched up, hit down to long on, and the fielder is out there, so just going to be a single. But again, Arun Nag started the over off well, but just straight in line for those 2 deliveries, and Sarbjot Singh did not need an invitation. As it's slaying down the leg side, he's going to get down on one knee and sweep that fine for 4. Was able to do so successfully on 2 occasions. And this over now, which started promising, has now gone for 9. Kamaljot to face his first delivery, and this is well defended. Looking for that single, and again, that's impressive from Kamaljot. Every delivery, he's looking for something. It's not a dead bat defense from him. He's looking to maneuver the ball, look for a single wherever he can. And again, that's impressive to see. So I'm sure that, like I said a little bit earlier, the selectors are going to be keeping a keen eye on him, because he's been mighty impressive so far early on in this innings. He's now 44 off 23. Sarbjot has raced away to 32 off 19 with 2 4s and 6s for Kamaljot. The score now 93 for 1. They got to find an Aaron Johnson somewhere. Does Nova Scotia. They got to find that golden arm. Who's going to be the man to put his hand up and say, I'm going to take a couple wickets for my team? As we see another bowling change, it's going to be Daksh Talwar to come in, a tall man. I'll say this, anytime I see a super tall spinner, I just, a little piece of me, a little bit on the inside. Those tall levers, you'd want to see that perfectly in in a tall seam bowler like Sarmad Anwar yesterday for Saskatchewan. But, there's benefits to being a tall spinner as well, and we've seen that around the world. This is going to be Lexman. This is short. Not quite getting it. Not far away from that man at short mid-wicket, but hit out to Girdar at long on. It's going to be a single to Sarbjot. And you can see he's a little bit disappointed with that. He thought that it was there to be put away.
Yeah, that's about the third time that Sarbjot Singh's tried to play that shot, and unfortunately he's missed out, just picking out the long on fielder on every occasion. And the breeze is going across the ground, so had he picked that up, the wind would have certainly helped him, but he's just not getting that elevation. Daksh Talwar, short, wide, but there is extra bounce there, and I guess that comes in when you're a bit of a taller bowler, a taller spinner. You get a little more bounce off the wicket, and that's beautifully bowled. But Kamaljot Singh doing what he does best. Like you said previously, he is not looking to dead bat anything. He's hitting those gaps. He knows that there's quite a bit of space between the pitch and where the fielders are on the ring, pulling that onto the leg side for a single. Two deliveries to go in the over. And that's a play and a miss from Kamaljot Singh. There's definitely a bit of extra bounce on the wicket for Talwar. But Kamaljot Singh's got to keep his cool here. He's going along well. Oh, and well bowled, pitched up, and very well fielded to restrict the running to just one run in the as the point fielder slides to his right and stops the ball. RC 9 overs, 97 runs for one. Manitoba is cruising. At this rate, they're looking at 216 on the board if these two guys can continue to kick on.
Yeah, it's important for Kamaljot and Sarbjot not to throw it away here. They've got to continue this momentum. They are getting a loose ball and over, so they are able to put that away. Going at 7-8 and over, that's all you need at this stage. Going at 7-8 and over, build till the 15th and really have that platform, and they certainly have a platform now to launch from. But the last thing they need now is to lose these two. One of these guys has to bat till the 18th, 19th over and carry their team home into a mammoth total. And I don't think there's been two dot balls in a row to see another bowling change here. It is going to be, we'll see right here. We don't see a number 31 on their score sheet. Oh, sorry, Rahul Vashishta into the attack. It is going to be Seam, keeper back. So again, the Seamers haven't bowled well so far for Nova Scotia. It's going to be Rahul Vashishta now. It's going to be up to him to get one of these two, and they really need it, Manali. They really need a wicket here. So changing the field is 6-3 field for Rahul. The men out, deep mid-wicket. Long off, long on. Deep extra cover, deep point as well to Kamaljot. See this one down the leg side, not where you want to bowl without any fielders in the ring on the leg side. A little bit of a collision. Sarbjot Singh does not look like the man that you want to get into a collision with. Manali and Rahul Vashishta would have lost that 10 out of 10 times. So they get through for that single, and the wind has really picked up. This is going to assist. If they want to go through this offside, it is going to get there. But there are two men out for that shot.
Oh, and that's picked up and falls short of that long on fielder. The wind, unfortunately, not in the favor of the fielder as it took the ball away from him. Sarbjot Singh, however, has played that shot 9 out of 10 times, I would say. His go-to shot, his go-to release. Missing out on quite a few occasions now. And that is picked up. And unfortunately finds the hands at long on. Sarbjot Singh lucked out the previous delivery. However, Kamaljot Singh unfortunately falls. And what an impressive innings. It comes to an end. He's given his team the start that they required. He's come in, batted positive for them, and the bowling change worked for Nova Scotia as they pick up another wicket. A much Manitoba 99 for 2 after 9.4 overs, and the wind has really kicked up here as our camera has gone down and our tent is starting to blow sideways.
Camera's gone down. Everything happening on that last delivery. The wind is picked up, and you can certainly see that hitting down to the leg side from the commentator's end is going to be difficult, as the wind is really pulling that ball back into the field. Much better off going through the offside is Sarbjot Singh, and we'll get the camera back online in just a second. As we mentioned, the wind is really picked up, knocking the camera off. But I'll be here to walk you through what happens as we see Rahul Vashish now to Sarbjot Singh. This one, the slower delivery, well disguised, and Sarbjot Singh not reacting well enough as that goes through for a dot ball. So again, Rahul Vashish has put his hand up. He's just gone for the 1 run in 4 deliveries, but he's also got the big important wicket of Kamaljot Singh. As we see Vashish, this is another slower ball, and again misses out. So this is good innovation from Rahul Vashish, but also good changes of pace. This is mighty impressive stuff. Sarbjot Singh looks like he wants to go for almost everything here. This again comes down the track in the wind. This is going down to long on, but again hanging in the wind, not quite carrying to long on. So just gonna be the single for Sarbjot Singh. And again, 2 runs off that over for Rahul Vashishtha with the wicket of Kamaljot Singh, and just 2 runs. Manitoba do bring up their 100, however, so 100 for 2, still on pace. Still on pace for that 200, Manali, but that wicket, that's pegged them back quite a bit here. Just 2 runs off that over Rahul Vashishtha.
Yeah, that wicket was definitely a game changer for Nova Scotia. They needed to see that man walk back. Unfortunately, he was rotating the strike. He was hitting all the gaps. He was hitting his shots very crisp. And Sarbjot Singh now has to play a leadership role. He's got to do better with his shot selection to keep this momentum going. And just as I say that, he has chipped that down the ground, and unfortunately that's another wicket, and he is caught on the long off boundary. Very poor shot selection, and with that we have our 3rd wicket. Sarbjot Singh, 36 of 26 deliveries, and he will be disappointed with himself. Manitoba really needed him to stay out there and play the senior role. He's been out there for a while, and unfortunately now we have 2 new batters. Daksh Talwar very happy to be picking up his first wicket in his 2nd over of his spell, and walking in now, and got to bat smart from here on, RC.
Yeah, very disappointing there from Sarbjot Singh. You lose the senior partner in Kamaljot Singh. It's now down to you to build another partnership, and exactly what Nova Scotia needed. This partnership, bowling partnership of Daksh Talwar and Rahul Vashishtha, have been good enough to break the partnership of the Singhs with Kamaljot and Sarbjot now back in the hut. And 2 men yet to face a ball. Avaljeet Sandhu on strike. He came in at number 4. Shivam Sharma at number 5. Yet to face a delivery. And Nova Scotia on the hunt now. As we see this played away down to the offside, no run. So again, this is what wickets does. Manali builds the pressure. And that wind again coming to display in the last 2 shots. We said the wind was blowing strong left to right on your screen. And both batsmen hitting to the tougher side. As we see Sandhu in there through the arms of short cover. That would have been a 3rd. That would have been a 3rd and 2 overs, Manali. The heart rate's starting to go up, Manali. Everything's happening here. Daksh Talwar bowling a great spell here. Just gone for 5 and 1.3 with that wicket. And that one's just gone over the hands of the short cover fielder. As Shivam Sharma is now here to face Manali, all's happening.
Oh, and a play and a miss. This is some incredible bowling by Daksh Talwar. He is making things happen out there. That would have been an incredible catch, the previous delivery, had the cover fielder held on. Bold, full, and that's definitely a run as there's yes, no, and they scamper through for a single. Sharma and Sandhu have got to slow this game down a little bit in their heads. They have to reevaluate the situation and see what needs to be done at this point in the game. Oh, and that's short, just outside off and pulled for a single as they look to a second, but definitely not there on that occasion. Manitoba 103 for 3 after 11 overs. Tricky period, RC. Tricky period. They've had an incredible start, a start that they would have hoped for, but now with two new batsmen out in the middle, these two guys have really got to pick and choose, just like the initial replacement. And most importantly, risks are not needed right now. They do not need to take any risks. They just need to look to rotate the strike, put away the bad balls, and if they're able to do it, Nova Scotia will still be in trouble.
Yeah, Nova Scotia pegging this game back well between Rahul Vashishta and Daksh Talwar. The last 3 overs, only going for 9 runs as we see an inside edge there, running hard between the wickets. And again, this is what Manitoba needs to do to build this partnership. It was a direct hit, but he's in safe. Manali, it's funny what wickets will do. You can see the energy picking up from Nova Scotia in the field, but the ball's starting to do a little bit too. A little bit off the seam. It's starting to spin for Daksh Talwar. And that's the confidence that wickets will bring. And you can see Nova Scotia now feels if they can peg a couple more here, they're going to be right in this game. But it's down to these two, Shivam Sharma and Avaljit Sindhu, to rebuild for Manitoba and build a partnership as this one is pitched up. And this is how they're going to do it, Manali. This is impressive stuff from these two. Taking the runs when they're on offer, and they're about to squeeze another. This is a run-out chance. And disappointed. That has to be disappointing. That ball didn't get past the bowler. And they've snuck 2, and that's what I was talking about. Being alert in the field, putting the pressure back on Nova Scotia through these quick runs. This has been impressive for Manitoba after those 2 quick wickets. See now, this one is pitched up and driven down the ground, and again, that's just smart cricket. They're well ahead of this game at 106 for 11.3. They're ahead of this game. They don't need to take any rash shots. The wind is slowed down a little bit as well. Things are starting to ease off. That's what the singles and doubles will do for you, Manali.
Yeah, and these two guys look fit enough to run those quick singles. They've done that quite well in the last few deliveries. They've capitalized on an overthrow and a misfield, and this is exactly what they need. Just head down, look for those quick singles, and just don't lose any wickets at this point. Oh, and that is shortish and edged down to the third man boundary for 4. Unfortunate for Rahul Vashishta because he's bowled well. However, a very welcome boundary for Manitoba to ease some of the pressure for this batting pair that are quite new to the crease. 4 runs to Sandhu, and back of a length and driven down the ground for a single, for yet another single. This is very, very good batting from these two, rotating that strike. 1 delivery left in the over. After 12 and 9 runs coming off of that over, as quiet as it felt, the running and that very helpful boundary gave them 12 runs.
Yeah, we talk about this quite often, Manali. When you do the basics right, it's funny how things start to go your way. We talked about it last over. Once the 2 wickets fell, it was just the ball started spinning, the ball started moving around in the air a little bit, and that confidence started to come. But then from Manitoba and these two playing smart cricket, rotating the strike, you get that edge, it falls into no man's land, you get a boundary, and it turns out to be a great over for you on the side. The Manitoba now 112 for 3. Daksh Talwar has bowled well so far. He's been impressive. And there he is again on the spot. Again, it's been a couple of quiet overs. That last over just getting to that rate that they want to be in. So he's gotten some bounce. We saw that when he was blowing to Kamal Joke, and now getting some spin as well. So if he can put that whole package together, it'll be very dangerous on this wicket.
And that's picked up over point, an up and over shot for a quick 2 runs. Yeah, that's the advantage tall spinners get. I mean, they're able to get the ball to bounce a little bit more and dip a little bit faster because of just the high release point that they have. And that's slightly short and pulled down the leg side for another single. Sandhu moves to 10 off of 9, or 11 off of 10, sorry. Oh, and picked up beautifully. And that was an incredible fielding effort. Oh, but no, sorry, fielder signaling 4 runs. The long off fielder certainly trying to save that boundary, however, just not able to make it there on time. And Sharma adds 4 runs to his name as that is picked up beautifully. Very well, ball pitched full and dug out for a quick single to third man. This has turned out to be yet another good over for Manitoba. 120 for 3 after 13, and again 85.
Yeah, they're going well here, and we talked about the disappointment that Sarabjot Singh must have felt when he hauled out to long off right after the wicket of Kamal Jot. But now it's down to these two, and they've done it beautifully so far. 17 balls they faced together, putting together 20 runs. But again, it's been the rebuilding of that partnership and rebuilding of the innings that's been of the utmost importance. 120 for 3 now. And now, if these two can continue to bat in this way, get 7, 8, and over for the next 2 overs, they get to around 135, 140. They'll really give themselves a platform to launch from in the last 5. As we see Sandhu play this on to the offside for a single. And that's been the impressive stuff. The boundaries will come, but the running between the wickets for these two, that's what's been most impressive to rebuild this partnership, as we see Arun Nag come back into the account, come back into the bowling for left arm spin. And this one is hit over the top. I've talked him up. Oh, just out of the outstretched hands of the fielder down at long off. It's going to go for 4. Arun Nag disappointed with that effort, and I would have to agree with him. You got to put a dive in, Ferdy. Growing up playing baseball, Manali, that was the one thing that we look forward to. The coach would come and look at your jersey after the game and say, if there's any dirt on it, you didn't give it your all. I would like to see, maybe their laundry bills were too expensive yesterday, but they got to get those jerseys dirty out there.
Oh, big swing and a miss. Losing shape, just not reading that delivery. Yeah, that was a bit of a poor effort. I just don't think he read it early on. It was in the air for a long time, just didn't make it. Oh, and trouble out in the middle, and be a run out. I'm not quite sure where Shivam Sharma was going. That ball was hit by Sandhu directly to the mid-wicket fielder, and unfortunately that was he was stranded in no man's land, and he's got to walk back 10 off of 8, and he was looking good. Both of these batters were going well. The communication was going well until that point, that delivery, and Manitoba lose their 4th, 125 for 4 after 13.4. And walking in now is Jatinder Paul Matharu. Certainly not what Manitoba needed, RC, at this point. They were going well, and now they've got another man back in the pavilion.
Exactly what Nova Scotia needed, however, making it happen in the field as this one's pitched up, and that's 2 and 2! 2 and 2! 2 and 2 for Nova Scotia! And then again, they're losing wickets in pairs here, the 2 set batsmen, and now once again you're going to have 2 batsmen not facing a ball, joining each other out there on the wicket as Amaljeet Sandhu, not sure if that run out was in the back of his mind. He had to continue. He had to make up those runs for Shivam Sharma. But just giving himself too much room, Yorking himself. back. Disappointed as ever. And Nova Scotia looked down and out, and they managed to pick up a couple of wickets. That's twice now.
Not sure why he thought this was the right time to give himself some room, and unfortunately the bowler has the final say as he's bowled and walking back. New man in, Muaz Kazi, and he's about to face his first delivery and the last delivery of the over from Arun Nag. Sandhu 15 runs off of 14 deliveries, as that's defended back to the bowler. Manitoba 125 for 5 after 14 overs. RC, I think this pitch, what we saw yesterday, needs at least 160, 170 runs on the board for Manitoba to feel comfortable. They've batted decent, lost wickets at regular intervals. However, if we were to base their bowling off of their batting, they should have a fairly decent bowling attack as well.
Yeah, again, it's the first time we're seeing most of these guys. The captain's going to have a role to play. He's an all-rounder, Jatinder Palmataru. He's more than capable, more of a bowling all-rounder as well. He's played in the Canadian side as a bowling all-rounder. So he's going to have a job to do with the ball, but right now he's got a job to do with the bat. And 125 for 5. And it's got to be a little bit of a rebuild once again. An over or two, just keep rotating the strike. That's what's needed right now. Rotate the strike, put the loose ball away. Is this one short? That one's short. That was there to be put away, but Jatinder Palmataru just hitting it nice and comfortably down to cover. He rehearsed the shot afterwards that he should have played on the ball itself. See this one now, and he's going for it. And again, that's not the shot. The wind is coming across the ground. He's better off going through the offside, as that's a bye. Bye through Arsalan Khan. Not what I want to see for my namesake, is getting him a bye. But again, Mataru, he's the captain. He's got the red helmet. Got to have that head on his shoulders to carry his team through here. As Kazi now to face. This one's short outside the off stump. Again, misses out, and these dot balls are now really starting to rack up Manali.
Yeah, this is great stuff from Talvar. Actually, I've been very impressed with his bowling. Put all the batsmen under a lot of pressure. Oh, and that's flighted, and a full toss gets away with it, as that's driven straight to the cover fielder for a dot ball. Of course, both of these guys have yet to get off the mark. They're a little hesitant with their shots. Pitched up full again. His hand up here and play a captain's knock to bring his team home for the last 5 overs. And that's pitched up by Talvar and picked up to deep mid-wicket for a single. There was hesitation there for a second run, however, just not run that far, the first run hard enough. And, you know, that's what we saw with the previous batting pair, RC. I think these two guys are going to need to continue that momentum, at least rotating that strike until they feel comfortable for the big shots.
Yeah, we talk about the platform that they need to launch from, and unfortunately at this stage that platform was taken away from them with the 4 wickets, 2 wickets early in the 11th and 12th over, and then another couple of wickets in the 14th over. That platform was taken away, and it's down to these two. 128 for 5 after 15. That projected score slowly coming down. Manali's now down to 171, and it's going to be a mighty effort to even get to 171 from here. They're going to need a couple of big blows. Jatinder Palmataru and Kazi look to have the build and the he likes to sweep. And as we say that, he's launched that as in the air. He's not connected. This is going to find the man at deep mid-wicket. And we talked about having a steady head on his shoulders, and he was going to go for everything, it seemed, in that short stint at the crease. The wind was in his favor, but hit it higher. Hit it high in the air, and deep mid-wicket said thank you very much as that fell slap. And Manitoba now on that slippery slope of losing wickets. 128 for 6. Nova Scotia is going to be mighty happy with this, Manali.
Yeah, great comeback by Nova Scotia. However, very disappointing from the captain, Jatinder Matharu. He had just come into the crease. He needed to see a few deliveries. They still had 5 overs to bat, and unfortunately, he's walking back for 1 run off of 4 deliveries. Manitoba 128 for 6 after 15.1. Very disappointing effort from that, from the captain there, RC. He really needed to dig in deep and unfortunately just threw it away. The new man in, Mandeep Saini, as he faces Anurag Nag. And there's a big shout. Over. Pitched up, full toss, and what a dismissal. That's an easy catch, straight to covers. And unfortunately, that's another wicket for Manitoba. Very disappointing. As Kazi walks back for 1 off of 6. And again, we've got 2 new batters out there. RC, Manitoba in some serious trouble here.
Serious trouble and 2 soft dismissals in that over, Manali. Very disappointing for Manitoba. They would have liked to see the captain continue to rotate this level, and he certainly does. And Arun Nag now with 3 wickets for 14 and 2.3. And Manitoba in a whole heap of trouble now. We saw this a little bit in BC's innings last night as well, losing wickets in pairs. And Manitoba doesn't like to take wickets in singles. They want to take wickets in bunches, and they certainly have done so towards the latter half of this innings. 15.3 overs to go. 15.3 overs gone at Arun Nag. This one's hit off the outside edge from Harpreet Singh. And Harpreet Singh gets the single, gets off strike. So again, two batters that haven't faced the ball joining each other. Harpreet Singh getting a single off his first ball. Mandeep Saini yet to face. And Nova Scotia, like a pack of wolves now, they're on the hunt. They feel as though they can restrict this total under 140, 150, and that would be a heck of an effort from where they were. 75 for 1 in the power play. As this one is another full toss. Well played from Saini, just down the ground. We want to see full tosses being put away, but at this stage, it's probably the right call from Saini just to hit that down the ground. There's 1 ball to go from Arun Nag. Harpreet Singh to face. Again, you got to put the bad balls away, but again, right now, can't afford to lose another wicket.
Absolutely not. These 2 guys have tried. They've got to steady the ship a little bit before they can get going. And there's the last delivery, and it is smashed down the ground. Unfortunately, the the long off fielder gets to the ball, and that is kept to a single. And that completes the 3rd over for Arun Nag. Manitoba 131 for 7. It would be nice to put away the bad ball. I think they need to take a couple of deliveries, get their eye in. They do still have 4 overs left to bat, and I'm sure they can capitalize. But most importantly right now, they need to be out there. They need to stay out there. And with that, we should be seeing a bowling change. New bowler in. For Mandeep Kumar Girdhar. Coming in for his 3rd over. Gone for 16 runs for his 2 overs so far. And bowling to Harpreet Singh. Just back of a length, and that's driven out into the cover region for a single. Good intention from Harpreet Singh, looking for that second. However, definitely not there on that occasion, but the intent is there.
Yeah, it's we see this all the time in cricket. It's funny how cricket works. See Girdhar run in here. And dot balls. When you see the wickets fall, the runs seem to dry up, and the gaps just seem to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And right now, Manitoba, they need those gaps to open up. As looking to maneuver the field there, but again, just finding the fielder. Looking to get off strike and bring Harpreet on strike, but again, like he said, the gaps have dried up, the runs have dried up. Daksh Talwar pulled a great spell from this end. It's now down to Mandeep Girdhar, so it's going to be leg spin here as well. And this one is a loud appeal. Looks to be sliding down leg, inside edge, potentially as well. So, again, there's pouncing. 6 fielders pouncing, there's 5 out. The fielders they're everywhere now for Nova Scotia. See, again, playing a miss, and Mandeep Saini has got to find a way to get off strike here. He's got to find a way to put some runs on the board for his side.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely bogged down here, but this is good bowling from Mandeep Girdhar. And just glance down to the point there in this 100%, and those wickets certainly helped their positivity. Manitoba 134 for 7 after 17 overs. 3 crucial overs left for Manitoba, and Arun Nag coming in for his final over of his spell. Oh, and that's a full toss and smashed over the bowler's head for a boundary. That was beautifully hit by Harpreet Singh. Not the start Arun Nag would have wanted to his over, but it will do wonders for Singh's confidence out there. Pitched up full and picked up again. However, oh, that is straight down the throat of the long off fielder, and unfortunately Harpreet Singh picked out the fielder, the only fielder in the area, and is walking back. Harpreet Singh walking back for 7 runs off of 5 deliveries that he faced. Manitoba 138 for 8. And RC, this unfortunately is a bit anticlimactic. They were looking at over 200 at one point, over 180 at another, and now barely reaching 160. And if these wickets keep falling as they are, and in pairs as they've been going, I think we might not even get to the 20th over.
No, they've been losing wickets in bunches. His shirt said happy in the back. He was happy with that 4 straight down the ground. He wasn't going to be too happy with that shot straight down to long off. And again, the wind coming into play. And this is thinking the game now. You got to know which direction the wind is blowing. It's blowing hard from left to right. It's a tough shot to play on the leg side from here on. Or offside for the left-hander. You're better off going down the leg side. But there's a lot of protection down there as well. So now, as we see Amrinder Dhillon join Mandeep Saini, Manitoba's got to find some runs. They were well on course in the power play. As this one is a full toss now, driven down the ground. We know Arun Nag likes to take wickets in bunches. He's got 3 deliveries to take his 5 for. Is he going to be able to do it? He's going to bowl to the new man now, Amrinder Dhillon. Arun Nag started out a little bit wayward, a couple balls down the leg side to Sarbjot Singh that went for 4. But he's had a great comeback to this spell. 4 for 21 in 3.2. He's going to want his 5th, isn't he, with 4 balls left?
Yeah, it would be a great way to cap off his spell. And that's bowled very full, hitting him plumb, and umpire not interested. You know, Arun Nag, he's bowled decent, however, he's given quite a few full tosses. He's straying down the leg side, and that is a wide. The keeper's quick, tries to take the bails off, however, the batsman is well in his crease, and Arun Nag has to re-bowl that delivery. Pitched full again and driven down the ground for a very, very lazily run single. I'm sure they wouldn't have been able to push 2 runs as the boundaries are short. However, the intent just isn't there, RC.
No, there might not be 2 runs in that, but you've got to run the first one hard. I was disappointed for the spinner. And the score now, 142 for 8 after 18. 2 overs left. When only 2 wickets to go. 150, 160 is probably about par on this wicket. But not with the start that they had. They were 75 for 1 once again to remind everyone after the power play. Kamaljot Singh getting this team off to a fantastic start. But the innings has really fallen, and it's been a slippery slope for Manitoba. The procession of wickets for Nova Scotia. As this one, Mandeep Saini coming down the ground, and Arslan Khan has finished the job. Mandeep Saini looking to put some quick runs on the board, and now, I said 150, 160. 1 wicket left. They'll do well to get to 150 even here. 18.1, 142 for 9. Mandeep Singh, the man that they were looking at to do the job, is back in the hut. Now number 10 and 11 at the crease. They've got to find a way to score some runs here. Manali as the last man now in, and this has been impressive from Nova Scotia. They took the wickets of Kamal Jot and Sarbjot in consecutive overs, and after that, there hasn't really been anybody that's put their hand up for Manitoba to take the attack to Nova Scotia.
Yesterday was very bad.
But that one was okay. Ontario game was fine there. Yeah. But here it was really bad.
The paddle might not be there for that, so we'll see what they can do. But again, just a couple deliveries left here. Manali. Amrinder Dillon on strike. Slower ball once again. He hits this hard to the offside. They've got to run. Just getting to the cover fielder. And just going to be a single. And apologies, that's the end of the innings. The score at the end of the innings, 149, so they fall short of that 150, Manali. Not getting there in the end. They'll be disappointed with that. But, again, we'll yet to see. 111 last night was a lot of trouble for BC to get. 149 for 9. Not the score they would have wanted with 75 for 1 at the power play. But probably par on this wicket.
Yeah, definitely not the score they would have wanted. However, it will be quite interesting to see how well they can come out and bat. Manitoba had an incredible start in the batting partnership of Kamaljot Singh, who scored 46, and Sarabjot Singh 36. But unfortunately, after both of them were out in quick succession, they just haven't quite been able to kick off, and the procession of wickets just continued in single digits after that. Pick of the bowlers, Arun Nag picking up 4 for 25, and he was really well supported by Daksh Talwar, who only went for 17 runs in his 4 overs. Overall, a great comeback by Nova Scotia, and should be a fantastic run chase when we come back for the second innings.
is, but he was working on the wickets. Prashant
I need some snack. Maybe some chips or some chocolate or something.
Huh?
Got your own today.
Yeah, this is mine. And this is always been mine. You see, there's my name on it.
Yeah, but you didn't have it that day, I guess.
I didn't have the,
Yeah.
कूलर में से लो प्लेयर के कूलर में से
You pretend like you know what you're doing? Yeah. No, not this one. I brought pants and a shirt if needed. I brought everything. Ready to go.
Well, you guys are whatever you want to do, that's fine. You know?
It's nice today. It said it was going to rain until 1 p.m. It was going to rain all night 1 p.m. On my way here though, it was there was a lot of clouds just passing like Major Mackenzie, Elgin Mills area. A lot of clouds.
So I got a lot of rain as I got to Kitchener.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain once I got home last night too.
I played through it. And it was cool, like it wasn't warm because it was nighttime, 9 o'clock. I didn't get home till about 11 last night because after the game I went to finish work and then I got home.
You work from home?
So we own a few businesses. My stuff I can do from home, but certain things like our online orders and Amazon orders have to be done from.
Yes. There's 3 in this game. No, actually. It's gonna get confusing real fast. Brand of what?
Views, okay. Imperial. By Imperial Tobacco.
So they have a subscription model. Yeah. So every month I get a delivery to my house.
Yeah.
No fuss. Don't have to worry about anything. And I'm set for the month. What a knock on my door.
Yes, but our lunch is coming out time. It's very often I should order something. Huh?
I brought some snacks and some.
Yeah. I'm going to need you for the rest of the week. This is a long day without no food.
Welcome back from King City, Ontario, Canada, for the Canadian National Championships. Game 1 of Day 2 in Group B. Manitoba versus Nova Scotia. Manitoba came out guns blazing. They were 75 for 1 in the power play, but only managing 149 for 9 in their 20 overs. And it's now down to Nova Scotia. They have the momentum with the ball going into the second innings, but now it's down to them with the bat. It is going to be Rahul Vashishta, who's joined by Neil Patel. Neil Patel will be taking strike. And to open the bowling, it is going to be the number 11 batsman, Rajinder Mangli, for Manitoba. They've got a job to do. They've got to restrict them in the power play here. There is a strong breeze, so if you're hearing all that wind in the background, all that background noise, unfortunately we can't control Mother Nature. We are sitting outside, so you will get a lot of background noise. So thank you for bearing with us. Joined by Manali Patel. Manali, it was a great comeback by Nova Scotia, but now they've got a job to do with the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Very positive start for Manitoba, and Nova Scotia pulled it back very well towards the end, and here they are with their batting. Vashishta, first ball slightly short on the off, and that is played off the back foot to the cover fielder. Neil Patel facing that first delivery. Looks quite comfortable. Another dot ball to start. Mangley will be happy with that start. Of course, as many dot balls as they can get to try and keep Nova Scotia at bay and to stop them from capitalizing on these power play overs. It was quite nice, warm and sunny when we first came in, but it's definitely cooled down, and the wind's very... That's a full toss and just over the mid-wicket. Fielder for a boundary. A lot of cheering from the Nova Scotia camp. They are supporting their two batters out there, and a welcome boundary for Neil Patel as he gets off the strike. Unfortunately, not the delivery Kamal Mangley would have hoped to bowl. RC, very breezy morning. Certainly going to be helping the pace bowlers get some swing across, get some movement going.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this field actually from Jatinder Mataru for Mangley. 7-2 field to start in a T20. He's got to slip in place as we see this here. With that action, he should be getting some swing away from the right-hander, but a 7-2 field. Anytime you stray down the leg side, you're going to go for runs, as we saw in that previous delivery. The full toss going for 4. The 2 men out, long off, deep cover. Ring on the offside, a slip, short third, backward point, cover. The 2 men on the leg side at mid-wicket and mid-on. So very interesting field, Manali, to start this for Manitoba. And this one gets a movement, looking to pick that gap, but that's going to be tough with the ring on the offside. Backward point coming across. It is Kamal Jot doing the fielding, so he did a job with the bat, but he's doing a job early here in the field as well. So not a bad start so far from Mangley. That one straight delivery down the leg side, the full toss going for 4 before dot balls as well. We'll see how he finishes off. Full on the stumps and just playing it back, and a little bit of a smile and a stare back to the bowler. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely good competition out there, good rivalry, and just goes to show you how much each of these games mean to all of the provinces representing at King City for this week-long tournament. Nova Scotia 4 for no loss after their first over. Decent start. I'm sure they would have hoped for a few more runs. However, they were able to put away the bad ball that came in that over, and wickets still intact. They need 146 runs from 114 deliveries, and it's going to need a few boundaries here and there. However, they have to be smart with how they navigate their chase. We did see Manitoba lose their way after they lost wickets in quick succession in pairs, and Nova Scotia, I'm sure, is going to do everything not to repeat that. Bowling now, Harpreet Singh to Vashishta, and short to straight down leg, and that's played to fine leg for a single. Nova Scotia really supporting their batters out there. They are cheering every single delivery, every single run. Great energy, RC.
Yeah, good to see. They know that they're in for a little bit of a battle here. Manitoba would have been disappointed not to get close to that 200 mark with the start that they got. But here they're doing a job with the ball. 6-3 field this time for Harpreet Singh. Going to be bowling more on the stumps than his counterpart Mangley. This one again, a better length this time to Patel. Just play and miss on the offside. There is a stump. There is a slip in place. And that's exactly what you want to see. They need wickets early on. We saw Manitoba get away from Nova Scotia in the power play. And Nova Scotia is going to need need a good start in the power play here. We saw the runs dry up a little bit after the power play, so they're going to need a good start. And for Manitoba, they're going to want some wickets early. As this one's short, inside edge, bottom edge onto his pads. They do come across with a single. And Manali, we've got to be a little bit louder. These guys are cheering every single run.
Yeah, they're certainly backing their batters out there. It's fantastic to see. It's great energy out here. And the intent is there from the two batters out there. And that's picked up beautifully and just missed by the fielder at mid-on, and that is a very welcome boundary for Rahul Vashishta as he moves on to 5 off of just 2 deliveries. I'm sure you guys can hear the Nova Scotia camp sitting right beside us here, cheering their batters. And that's short and pulled away, this time through mid-wicket, and another boundary to Vashishta. This is some fantastic batting, and unfortunately not the line or the length that Harpreet Singh should be bowling with a field set like this. With all the protection that he has on the offside, straying down leg and short without the pace that that he's offering here, that's asking to be hit. Harpreet Singh not as quick as some of the bowlers that we've seen in this tournament. And that's full and driven to short extra cover. Oh, and there was a bit of a run out chance, however, no harm done, and a dot ball to end the over. Nova Scotia 14 for no loss after 2 overs. Very good over for Nova Scotia. There are 10 runs coming off of it. They're going at a healthy strike rate of 7. Unfortunately, they will need a little more than that, and 4 overs to go in this power play. But certainly off to a great start. An effort ball, and just put down. Mid-wicket fielder coming in, diving forward. However, that goes down as a drop catch. Good effort ball from Kamal Mangli. And Neil Patel, he's got to be a little careful with his shot selection. The last thing Nova Scotia want is to lose a wicket this early. And pitches back of a length and cut away to third man for a dot ball. The offside field is quite heavy, and it's going to be a challenge to pierce the gaps. A lot of open space on the leg side, but Kamal Mangli's doing a good job bowling a very tight line. Pitched full again, full and straight, and all Neil Patel can do is drive it back to the bowler for yet another dot ball. Three deliveries gone, 3 to come, and Neil Patel 3 dot balls to his name this over. He's got to try and look to get off of strike here. And that's pitched up full, driven nicely, but straight to short extra cover, and that's the 4th dot ball of the over. RC dot balls racking up early, and unfortunately Neil Patel is having a hard time piercing the gap. Not able to do it nearly as easily as his batting partner Vashishta.
Yeah, they really need to make advantage of this power play, but I gotta say, Mangli bowling well, bowling to his field here. He's got a 7-2 field, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, and certainly keeping this ball outside the off stump. As this time, as I say that, he strays down the leg side, and this has been put away beautifully by Patel. Not a big chase for Nova Scotia, and they're putting away the bad balls here. 4 boundaries already in this innings. But again, those boundaries have to be mixed in with the rotation of strike, and that's where Neil Patel, if they can start rotating the strike, it'll do them a world of good. But so far, they're doing it okay. 18 for no loss in 2.5, 6 runs and over. A couple more boundaries in the power play. Manali get closer to that 50 mark, and they'll be right on track. So, again, I think the dot balls are adding up with a strong offside field, but anytime Mungley strays, they've been up for the task.
Yeah, they certainly have. The bad balls have been put away quite comfortably. However, they are lacking those quick singles. They need to look at rotating the strike more. Oh, and that's a full toss from Mungley. Driven straight down to the long off fielder for just a single. Gets away with that one, Mungley. Seen quite a few full tosses this game. And unfortunately for Manitoba, those resulted in wickets. Not quite the case for Nova Scotia. And that's 19 for no loss after 3 overs.
Yeah, I'm surprised not to see Jatinder Paul Mataru come into the attack here in the power play. I'm sure he's not far off. And as I say that, he might be coming into the attack here as he's adjusting his field. And no, but we are going to get a bowling change. It's not going to be Mataru, but it will be a bowling change. And Manali, he's going to be the man that Manitoba is going to rely on to get them some wickets. And that's the thing here. You can't let batsmen settle. We saw that with Kamal Jyoth and Subjyoth earlier. When they were able to settle, they were able to get those easy runs. And we're going to see the first spin for the first time here from Manitoba. Just taking a look to see who that's going to be. That's going to be Amrinder Dhillon. He wasn't able to capitalize with the bat, but again, his main job here is with the ball. He's going to be turning the ball away from the right-hand batsman. Might not get as much turn early on in this innings. But Manali, you talked about the full tosses. We did have a lot of rainfall, a heavy rainfall overnight. As we watch Amrinder Dhillon run in. This one's pitched up, and a little bit of turn there for him. He's a tall man once again. But that's great running, as you can hear from the Nova Scotian crowd. You might think there's 1,000 people here next to us, but there's just the team, and they're cheering mighty loud for their squad. Good thinking and good running there as Neil Patel getting off strike and saying, Rahul Vasishta, off to you, my friend. You're 9 off 4. Let's see what you can do. But a little bit of turn there from Amrinder Dhillon. This is a used wicket. Same wicket we played on yesterday. 3 games on it yesterday. 4th game on it here today. And again, that's played into the leg side, and they're running hard between the wickets for singles. This is exactly what they're going to need to do. The wind has picked up once again, Manali, blowing hard left to right. They have a man out at deep mid-wicket, the other man out at long off. So long on is an option if they want to go over the top here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've definitely picked up from where they should have in the previous over between their quick running in between the wickets. And that's played onto the offside. Looks for a single, but not quite there this time. The offside field is quite heavily set. And it was like a pack of wolves there, RC. All 4 of them on that ball as he was hit right in the middle. Dhillon bowling just back of a length, and that's punched into the offside. Another dot ball. Neil Patel, unfortunately, not able to rotate the strike as easily as his partner Rahul Vasishta. He's used up 17 deliveries for his 11 runs. 2 boundaries coming off of it. However, quite a few dot balls to his name. That's pitched full and picked up. Down straight to the deep mid-wicket fielder, and that unfortunately brings Neil Patel's demise. He looked like he was struggling out there, and that fielder didn't have to move an inch. It was perfectly placed. He unfortunately walks back for 17 off of 18 deliveries. And walking in now is Anthony Lawrence Roach. Nova Scotia 21 for 1 after 3.4. There goes the first wicket, RC. We're not quite Not quite sure how deep the batting lineup is for Nova Scotia. They did play against Ontario yesterday morning and not able to score as many runs as they would have liked in that game against Ontario. However, a different level of competition here today.
Yeah, certainly not a big total to chase down. They chased right around the same total, or they were looking to chase right around the same total yesterday against Ontario. But again, that's what the pressure built. Once you build that pressure with dot balls, as Amrinder Dillon did, and the pressure started to show with Neil Patel, not able to get off strike, using up a lot of deliveries in the power play. Job of the openers, try to get their team off to a good start. They've got off to an okay start, but they need a better start here, and they need some boundaries. Rahul Vashishta, unfortunately, just not getting strike. Only faced 5 deliveries so far in 3.5 overs. And now it's down to Roche, Anthony Lawrence, and Rahul Vashishta to rebuild this innings. They're going to need some boundaries here in the power play. There's no cover of the square-like boundaries here. I'd like to see some sweep shots come into play here, Manali, as this one's defended on the offside. We talked about Kamal Joth earlier, not facing too many dot balls. If you face a dot ball, the next ball is certainly going for a run. And unfortunately for Nova Scotia so far in their innings, the dot balls are starting to build up. Anthony Lawrence just faced the 1 delivery for no run. Rahul Vashishta 10 off 5, so he's going well. He's got the 2 boundaries, 21 for 1 after 4. They're going to need a good end to this power play, Manali, especially with Jatinder Palmatar, who still has 4 overs to go as well. So that's going to be trouble. He's a Canadian international for Manitoba. Mangli getting another over here. Has been a little bit wayward with his bowling. He's gotten away with it, but there have been boundary options off his bowling. So again, Rahul Vashishta now, the danger man for Nova Scotia. He's got a job to do. This over has got to go for a few runs.
Yeah, absolutely does. They just haven't been able to capitalize in this power play yet. And that's played beautifully down to long on for a well-needed 4, and it's good to see Rahul Vashishta capitalizing on a slightly wayward delivery from Mangli and dispatching that for 4. They've still got almost 2 full overs of power play left. Fielding restrictions still in place. They do need to capitalize on this. Anthony Lawrence, of course, only faced 1 delivery so far. So Rahul the man to do it. That's pitched up full and similar shot, but a fantastic throw from the long on fielder. However, they do scamper across for a single. Kamal Mangli straying down the leg side a little more this often. The previous 2 overs he's done a fairly good job keeping that off stump line, bowling to his field. Anthony Lawrence looking to get off of strike as he faces his second delivery. Kamal Mangli bowls a beautiful delivery, full, and Anthony Lawrence playing all around that, a big swing and a miss. RC, very important for Anthony Lawrence not to get bogged down here and to play more of a supportive role. At least try and get off of strike, get Rahul on strike.
And he looks to drive this down the ground. Ronaldo, you're right, and that is a 7-2 field. I'd like them to use their crease a little bit more. Walk across to the offside. Look to play that potentially down the leg side. Make Mangli do something different. He's just looking to put that ball in the same spot. And Rahul Vashishta, he's played the part, but he's been watching a lot of this innings from the non-strikers end. He's 15 off 7. He needs the support. He needs the strike. Lawrence so far not able to do so, as this one's a full toss, and he's not going to be able to put it away as he hits it straight to the captain, Mataru, at short extra cover. So again, the dot ball's starting to add up, and the one thing they can't afford to do now is lose another wicket, Manali. They've got to build this partnership. They've got to look to take this game deep. Rahul Vashishta looks to be the man the man for Nova Scotia, as we see Lawrence running in. And this one's hit over the offside. This is going to get over Kamal Joe at that point. This is running away to the point boundary, and that's the boundary that they wanted. So 2 boundaries in that over now. Lawrence saying you can get the dot balls, but I'm still going to hit you for 4. And that's a way to cap off the 5th over. They're going to get to 30 for 1 after 5. Manali, they're short of par in the power play. They're behind the run rate here. Only going at 6 runs and over, so they're making this task a little bit more difficult for themselves. But the big man, Rahul Vashishta, is now on strike. Vashishta has looked good so far in this innings. Hasn't had much support from the other end. He's got to do a job now and capitalize on this final over in this power play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's looked good, just not received the support on the other end. However, that was a very welcome boundary for Anthony Lawrence to free his arms a little bit, get his confidence up. Amrinder Dhillon comes in for his 2nd over as Rahul Vashishta takes strike. Oh, that's a big swing and a miss, and it's been given wide. Fortunately, Dhillon just straying down that offside wide line. He's coming through and over. Pitched full, and Rahul Vashishta defends that. See another tall spinner in Dhillon. And that's pitched up and hoiked over the point fielders, and both covers and point converge to get the ball in as Rahul Vashishta adds a couple more runs to his name. He's silently gotten to 17 off of 9, 3 fours off of his innings. A lot of aerial shots, RC. We're not seeing a lot of driving through the gaps as we had seen Shreyas Mova do very well yesterday afternoon.
Rahul plays this down the ground. That last shot over the offside. The wind just holding that ball back. Again, it's going to be tough. The wind blowing hard left to right on this field. The aerial shots just not quite going on the offside from this end for the right-hand batsman, Rahul Vashishta. There's only one man out on the leg side. Get down on one knee, play this fine. There's no cover. Backward of square on the offside. Amrinder Dhillon doing a good job so far for his team. Bowling that off-stump line. As we see this one played into that gap, that square leg, and an easy single for Vashishta. Now 2 deliveries left here in the final over of the power play. And Ollie, again, they need to pitch another boundary here, I think. And one of these 2 balls have to go for a boundary, get closer to that 40-run mark. They'll still be below par in the power play, but it's a better effort. We'll see what Lawrence can do. He's only been able to put away 1 ball so far in this innings. 4 dot balls against his name, and the 1 lone boundary of a point in the last over. As this one, he does look to sweep, and he's done this well. Got that ball on the full toss and hits that over mid-on for 4. I said 1 ball needs to go. Can they do it? Can they make it 2 out of 2? Can Lawrence make it 2 out of the 2? 38 for 1 now after 5.5. Lawrence, 2 boundaries off 2 balls, the last 2 balls that he's faced. Looking to get into his stride, getting his innings moving here. Vashishta needs the support. Lawrence looking to be that man as we see Amrinder Dhillon. This one's short, played through the offside. There's a lot of cover on that offside in the ring, Manali, so not able to pierce that gap. The score now for Nova Scotia, 38 for 1 after 6. Brings the end of the power play. Anthony Lawrence, 8 off 6 with the 2 boundaries. Rahul Vashishta going well, 18 off 11 with 3 boundaries. Molly, now it's time. They've got to pierce these gaps. They've got to run the 1s and 2s hard. They've got to make Manitoba work. And Nova Scotia here can't afford to lose another wicket here early with the score just 38 for 1 after 6.
Yeah, 38 for 1 after 6. Definitely not as many runs as they would have hoped for in the power play overs. However, that being said, they've still got 84 deliveries to get 112 runs. And with that, we see a bowling change coming in is Shivam Sharma. They've been able to get a few boundaries away here and there. However, that rotation of strike just isn't happening nearly as often. They have a few too many dot balls to their name right now, and that really pushes their required run rate up, and with that comes scoreboard pressure. Rahul Vashishtha to face the first delivery from Shivam Sharma. That's beautifully bowled, just short of a good length, and a play and a miss. Back of the length again, and that is driven down to the long on fielder for a single. And that's well played in the offside, and a very good quick single, and a very, very wayward throw from the fielder, allowing for a second run. That was Kamaljeet Singh. He's been quite live in the field, and unfortunately that's just slipping out of his hands a little bit. Three deliveries in RC, no big boundary yet. Similar shot, looking to glance that through the offside. However, dot ball again. These dot balls are really going to cause some serious pressure for them, RC.
Yeah, Lawrence has got to find a way to get off strike here. Shivam Sharma started off well. A little bit more air on that one. Again, these tall spinners starting to cause a little bit of havoc and a little bit of extra bounce. There is a, I was talking to a couple of the batsmen, the Manitoban batsmen, after their innings, and they said it's a little bit slower this wicket. And again, you expect that with a used wicket. It's going to be a little bit slower, so the spinners are going to have a job to do here for Manitoba. We saw Rahul Vashishtha as a seamer for Nova Scotia do a good job of that as well, leveraging his slower balls. Lawrence looking to get off strike, unable to do so, playing that to the leg side. The bowler doing the cleanup job there himself. So again, a good over from Shivam Sharma, just 3 runs off of it. And again, Rahul Vashishtha having to watch a lot of the action from the non-striker's end. Vashishtha is going to want the strike. He's got to be the man. He looks to be the one in form. Lawrence struggling a little bit, got those 2 boundaries away, but hasn't really been able to rotate the strike. And Nova Scotia in these middle overs, that's going to be important to keep building this partnership. They keep talking about this platform. They got to give themselves a platform to be able to launch from and really attack this total. Behind the required rate, they need 109 runs off 78 balls, 41 for 1 after 7 overs. And again, Manitoba are going to be looking for that key wicket of Rahul Vashishtha. I feel as though if they can get Vashishtha, they've been real hard to this innings.
Shivam Sharma into the attack for his second over. Bowled a Amrinder Dhillon in for his third over. Been fairly tidy as well, just gone for 10 runs in his 2 overs as Rahul Vashishtha looks to continue where he left off. Short and wide, it's cut beautifully to the deep cover fielder. Looking for a second. Rahul Vashishtha, however, sent back by Anthony Lawrence. Anthony Lawrence not looking as comfortable as Rahul Vashishtha has, and unfortunately has faced quite a few dot balls now. He should look to kick on a little bit, at least try and get Rahul Vashishtha on strike. That's short, wide, and again cut to deep cover as they run through for another single. We saw Manitoba do that so well when they were batting. They were able to get singles and doubles and then put away at least one boundary and over, keeping that run rate and keeping Nova Scotia under pressure. Nova Scotia should try and repeat some of that, at least try and look for one boundary and over, maybe another 4 or 5 runs just by rotating the strike. Dylan bowling is third. Oh, and that's a big swing and a miss, and the keeper misses it as well as it goes down to the third man fielder for a dot ball. 3 deliveries gone in the over, 3 to go. 43 for 1. Unfortunately, it's slow going for Nova Scotia out there. They're falling well below the required run rate. And that's played down to square leg for a single. Obviously, they're doing what they can to try and pinch singles here and there. However, that big hitting that we saw from Sarojit Singh and Manjot Singh, they're just not able to put something like that up.
As we say that one's hit high in the air. Is he going to go? No, it is! He's caught the delivery, but he's gone over the line. There's a lot of discussion going on. It's right in front of the Nova Scotian crowd. A lot of discussion. The umpires are going to have to come together. The umpires are going to have to come together. There's a little bit of discussion. Manitoba celebrating. Anthony Lawrence does not want to go. We're going to have to wait for the umpire's decision on this one. Manitoba's claiming the catch. Umpires coming together. We'll wait and see. And he's got to go. He's got to go, Manali. They've claimed the catch. There was a little bit of a slip. There is no rope here. So a lot of it is left to interpretation. And the umpires have interpreted that was a catch. The wind helping him carrying the ball, but again, just not enough. The dot ball pressure starting to build on Anthony Lawrence, not able to rotate the strike, and he's got to go. He's got to go. And again, that's where the pressure builds. 43 for 2 now, Amrinder Dillon. That length, the ball getting big. Not a big man is Anthony Lawrence. The ball starting to get big on him. Was looking to hit that over the top, not able to do so, and falls. 44 for 2 now at 7.5. Rahul Vashishta still out there, is now being joined by his captain. Nandu Mudapuram has joined Rahul Vashishta. And it's now really down to these two. These two have really got to take the bull by his horns in this innings and do a job. They're still talking to the umpires about this. Did they cross? Did they not cross? A lot of confusion there, Manali. Everything happening on that delivery. A little bit of discussion. He caught that ball right in front of the Nova Scotian crowd. The team was signaling 6. The fielder claiming the catch. The umpires have gone in favor of the fielder, Mangli, on the boundary. And now, Nandu Vishnu, the captain, in for Nova Scotia. Manali, I'm going to let you take over as I catch my breath.
Final delivery in the Dillon over as that's driven out to covers, and Nandu gets off strike with a single. Yeah, a lot of stuff happening there, RC. I'm not sure if you were able to catch his foot there on that catch or not. However, that was a very dicey call from the fielder. I'm not an umpire, but I would have given that a 6 as well, as I felt slid over the line a little bit. We're not the umpires here. We're just reading the game as we see it from a very, very different angle as the umpires are.
Yeah, it's a tough angle for the umpires too, so you can't blame them. tournament so far has played in good sportsmanship, and you'd like to see that continue. The fielder blaming the catch, he slipped a bit, but still when he caught it, he felt he was inside the rope. The imaginary rope, that is, of course, no ropes. There's flags going across the field. So again, leaving a lot to interpretation. As the wind starts to pick up once again, it's going to be Shivam Sharma to continue. Nandu Vishnu into the offside. They're running to run hard for the single. There was no backup there, so the keeper doing well to get his body in front of him to save some buzzers for the team. And Nandu Vishnu has come out with good intent, looking to get off strike. And gives the ball back to Nandu Vishnu. The Nova Scotian coach coming across. They had a look. They say their spike marks are outside the rope. This is this game. They can come back. Again, Nandu Vishnu has joined Rahul Vashishta, and Vashishta has looked good so far in this innings. This one played through the offside. They still have a tight ring on that offside. 4 men on that offside ring. Short third man, backward point cover. 5 men out, deep extra cover. Long off, long on, deep in, deep square leg. So there's plenty of gaps on the leg side if they want to take the 1s and 2s. But Rahul Vashishta, he says, I'll pierce that offside. It's a cover to Kamal Jota on that boundary there for a single. And all of a sudden, this game's got a little more intensity. 6 runs for Nova Scotia. Instead, it's a wicket for Manitoba. Nandu Vishnu now has a job to do for his team.
Cut away for a quick single and good running. Slightly wayward throw from the fielder. And again, Sarkis saying the keeper doing well to restrict that for going for overthrows. He's come out very positive. 3 for 3. Rahul Vashishta looks to pierce that offside gap again. Another quick single. This is very good running from these two. Certainly something that we were missing in the earlier batting pairs. But the intent is clear. They're here and they're bringing on the intensity. Shivam Sharma bowling his 5th delivery, and that's a dot ball. 48 for 2. Nova Scotia still need 102 runs from 66 deliveries. 49 for 2 after 9. Unfortunately, not as many runs on the board as they hoped, and now an additional wicket down. However controversial it may be, it is still a wicket that Nova Scotia has lost. RC, it'll certainly be interesting to see how much of an effect that wicket is going to have on the Nova Scotia batting innings. However, Nandu Vishnu has looked very comfortable out there. He's looked positive from ball 1. He's rotating the strike very well with Rahul Vashishta. I think we could be in for a treat with these two.
Yeah, we talked about this in Kamal Jota Singh's innings. It's the intent, even in a forward defense, looking for a single off every delivery at the very least. Rahul Vashishta now. Render Dillon has bowled well in this inning so far, 2 for 14 in his 3. As you see this hit over the offside, there is a man out there, so it's just going to be a single. But even in the running, you can see the captain showing the intent. That's what you want to see. And again, that's the 50 up now for Nova Scotia. And they've really got to get a platform here to build off of. These two, they look like they have a plan. That's what we want to see from these two. Render Dillon to Vishnu, and there's a big gap. They're running hard. Just a single in that. And like we said, there's a big gap on the leg side. Jatinder Mataru looks very comfortable with presenting a ring on the offside. And 3 men out on the leg side and saying, I'm challenging you. The wind is blowing that way. Hit it out if you can. And Render Dillon doing a good job for his team here so far.
Yeah, the bowling's been quite accurate this whole innings, and it's exactly why they've been able to get away with such a heavy offside field. That's bowled full and just played out to the covers for a dot by Rahul Vashishta. Dillon going very well. He's picked up 2 wickets now. Just 16 runs off of 3.3 overs. down the track and edged past the keeper and shout for a run out. However, that is very well run. Two quick runs to Rahul Vashishta. Healthy edge, no harm done, well over the keeper, and the third man does the cleanup at the boundary. One delivery left for Aminder Dhillon in this spell. Can he pick up his third wicket? Both wickets so far picked up by him. The rest of the bowlers have supported well, however, not part of the wickets column yet. Oh, and very well bowled and almost caught by the cover fielder. Rahul Vashishta getting a leading edge. And it falls safe as they scamper through for a single. Dicey batting the last couple of deliveries, RC.
Through the kitchen sink at the one that got the outside edge, and that time just looking to maneuver it. I like the intent from Rahul, but he's gotta keep his shape and keep his balance. Vishnu has done well to support him so far, the captain for Nova Scotia. And there again, this one's short. Vishnu hits this out into the deep. It's a Mangli. At on, so it is going to be a single. So Vishnu doing well here, rotating the strike. Rahul Vashishta slowed down a bit here, but again, these two doing well. 55 for 2 after 10 overs at the halfway mark. They've got 95 to go. They've got 60 balls to do it. At this level, you expect that to be done, but these are two inexperienced sides at this level. Nova Scotia for the first time playing as a province. Manitoba here as well. But I've been impressed with Vishnu so far. He's only 5 off 6. But the intent has been there. I've seen this over and over again. The intent isn't about hitting the big shots. It's not about the boundaries. It's in the running between the wickets. It's the intent in the forward defenses. And Vishnu definitely looks like he's come to the party and wants to do a job for his team. Shivam Sharma to continue here. Great spell from Aminder Dhillon. 2 for 20 off his 4. Shivam Sharma bowling well here. None for 7 off his 2. And this one, Vishnu, we said the intent, it wasn't in the big shots, but he pulls that out this time around, hitting straight down the ground, finding the boundary for 4, his first boundary of his innings. He's looked good. He's found the middle of the bat on a number of occasions, rotating the strike, and that time pitched up from Shivam Sharma, not much air, and he's put that away nicely. So again, we talked about the intent from Vishnu, and that time paying off as he's able to hit that down the ground. Long gone now, coming straighter. This time again, hit through the offside. There is a man out there. They're going to run hard. Almost choked. Swift in the outfield. Going to keep that to 1. But again, Vishnu playing good cricket here. Hitting the 4 and then getting off strike.
Yeah, Nandu Vishnu definitely playing an incredible role out there. He's come out from ball 1 and he's made his intentions very clear. Shivam Sharma bowling short. Oh dear. And that is the demise of Rahul Vashishta as he cuts that straight to point not having to move much at all. Always frustrating to get out to a poor delivery that was short and wide, asking to be hit. However, that was more of a catching practice shot straight to point as he walks back for 27 off of 24. Played a decent innings, struggled here and there. However, he was still getting the runs for Nova Scotia, which they very desperately needed. Nova Scotia 60 for 3 after 10.3 overs. And new man in, Mandeep Girdhar. It's certainly going to help Nova Scotia's hopes that Nandu Vishnu is going as well as he is, and he's striking the ball as well as he is. Because with a new man out there, he's got to try and adjust and find his way first. The run rate, unfortunately, still sitting at 5.71 runs and over. They do need 90 more runs off of 57 balls. haven't quite seen the acceleration in the run rate yet. They're just not able to get the big boundaries away as often as they would have liked. So Manitoba still in a better position. Let's pull back of a length, played into the offside, and a quick single through. This is positive stuff from Mueller as he gets off strike with a single. Similar intent from Nandu Vishnu, and should make for an entertaining batting partnership. Two deliveries to go. Sharma taking his time as he comes into bowl, his fifth delivery. It's pitched up full, and Nandu Vishnu unfortunately picks out the only deep cover fielder on the boundary as he heads back for 10 off of 9. Very, very unnecessary for Nova Scotia at this point to lose yet another wicket, and they are 61 for 4, RC, in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I like the idea of Nandu Vishnu, but not the execution. There's a big gap between deep cover, the wind just carrying that through the boundary. He had to set anchor there, keep rotating the strike. He had to get 60 out of these last 90. The task now becoming tougher and tougher for Nova Scotia. Again, it's the first time we're seeing this team, so we don't know what they have left in the bank. But as we saw with the Manitoba innings, once the top 3 or 4 got out, it was slow going for them, and for Manitoba it seems to be the same. Vishnu, 10 off 9. He looked good while he was out there with a lot of promise, but unfortunately for him has to go. Girdhar now joined by Daksh Dalwar, sorry. Daksh Dalwar looked good with the ball. These two leg spinners pulled well for their team, really brought themselves back into this game. But now they've got the bat in hand, they've got to do a job with the bat. But these spinners from Manitoba are really putting a stranglehold on this Nova Scotian innings. 61 for 4 off 10.5. The task becoming tougher and tougher by the ball, by over. So Shivam Sharma 2 for 13 and 2.5. Alongside Amrinder Dhillon, who's 2 for 20 and is 4. Daksh Dalwar now. He's got a job to do. They've got to rotate the strike now, Manali, and they've really got to set this partnership up. As that's edged through, and that's the ideal start to Daksh Dalwar's innings. As that's gone down to the boundary for 4. And that's what you want, an ideal start. Would have liked it out the middle, but you'll take it off the edge. As a score now, 65 for 4 after 11. Manali, the runs are coming, just not as quickly as they would have hoped for. But that wickets column is the one that's really causing problems here for Nova Scotia.
Yeah, the runs are coming, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be very tough for Nova Scotia to pull off a win at the run rate that they're going. That strike rate is climbing higher and higher, and a welcome boundary for Daksh. I'm sure he'll take it. However, they are quite a few boundaries short in this innings. Just not been able to bring the same sort of aggression that Manitoba was able to when they came out to bat. Manitoba, of course, able to put on a wonderful partnership between Sarbjot Singh and here comes and that is a dot ball to start off. Bowling change, Kazi into the attack as he bowls his second delivery now to Girdhar. Chipping down, and that is yet another wicket for Manitoba. Manitoba's ecstatic. They've picked up Mandeep Girdhar as he is stumped. His 1 run off of 3 deliveries. Unfortunately, it's looking very, very downhill for Nova Scotia from here. 65 for 6 after 11.2 overs. And new man coming in, Arun Nag, sorry. He certainly did the job. He did the best he could with the ball in hand for Nova Scotia. Will he be able to repeat that with bat in hand? 5 wickets down, RC. This is looking like a very, very uphill task for Nova Scotia, and Manitoba in a good position.
Yes, innings has really taken a downward turn. backward cap from Moaz Kazi. Not something you want to see in the national championships. A little bit village for me, but it's the world we're living in now, post-COVID. Umpire's not taking your cap, so you've got to find a way to bowl with it. He's got the glasses, so I'm putting on a fair amount of sunscreen as well in the bathroom, so he's a little bit concerned for that sunburn. But he's doing a job with the ball. 2 balls in, he's already got a wicket, no runs against his name, and Arun Nag, left-hander now. He's got to find a way to maneuver this field. They've got to leverage this right-hand, left-hand combination. Daksh Talwar just facing that one ball. Arun Nag gets to face a delivery. Strong offside field here as well. Ghazi, this one's slower. Arun Nag plays this down to long on, dragging that from the offside. They've got plenty of gaps on the leg side, so he's dragging that from the offside plane across. As we see 3 fielders now running across the field, and that's what the left-hand, right-hand combination does. These batsmen have got to really capitalize. Ghazi coming over the wicket now to the right-hander, around the wicket to the left-hander. They've got to leverage this. They've got to find a way to leverage this. Find the gaps on the leg side. As Daksh Talwar does that, hits this down to long on. A little bit of a misfield, but they're not going to be able to come back for 2. It is short boundary straight, so it is just getting past the 30-yard circle for a single. So again, they've got to leverage this right-hand, left-hand combination, start rotation of strike. Again, we've said this over and over, Manali. Once you start rotating the strike, it's funny how those gaps start to open up for those boundaries.
Oh, just an inside edge, no harm done. However, a dot ball on Kazi's 5th delivery. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Rotating the strike, taking those quick singles, putting the fielders under pressure. That's pitched full and played over covers into the gap, and fantastic effort on the boundary. However, that is another 4, and Arun Nag will be happy with that. Manitoba, unfortunately, ending that over with a boundary. You know, you got to hand it to the Nova Scotian camp that's sitting right beside us. They have not lost hope the entire time. They've supported, they have cheered, and they've really backed their batters out there. And it's very nice to see, especially because the opportunities are so rare for some of these provinces to come out to something like this and play against players from all across the country. As they communicate that they have 8 overs to get 80 runs, just making sure that their batters out there know what the target is and how to pace their innings from here on. Final over of the innings. That's driven down to deep cover for a single. This is decent batting from these 2. They're looking to rotate that strike, hit the gaps. A couple of boundaries here and there. That run rate has stayed pretty steady at around 5.5. Just under 6 runs and over, and that was never going to be enough from the time that we started. And that's hit down to the long on, falling short of long on, and a safe single. Right-hand, left-hand combination certainly allows for a lot more movement for the fielders as they go from side to side. We're getting some exercise in out there.
This is good bowling from Shivam Sharma. Not giving him any room, not giving him any air as well. Again, asking for the bowlers to come at him, asking for the batters to come at him. It's been an impressive spell so far. 2 for 19. As this one is played down the leg side, they're running hard. There could be 2 in this, but the keepers, Sabjot Singh, doing well there, going after it. So again, this task is getting tougher and tougher. They've got to find a way to find a boundary somewhere. They're going to need at least 1 over. 10 runs and over was the ask in the beginning of this over. That required run rate is only getting higher. It is doable. Well, I think we can call it's down to number 6 in Nova Scotia. This is really have to find a way to keep this way. Unfortunately for them, there haven't been too many bad deliveries from the likes of Shivam Sharma. This one's pitched up. It hits straight down the ground. Kazi coming around. And it's going to get through him, but not to the boundary. They're only going to be able to manage a single. They were alert, but just not alert enough to come back for that second Manali. So, again, the opportunities are there. They've got to put the bad balls away. Unfortunately, so far, picking up 2 wickets and not really giving many scoring opportunities.
Yeah, been very good tight bowling from Shivam Sharma. Just going for 21 runs off of his 3.5 overs as he comes in to bowl his final delivery. That is cut officially behind point, and that's going to run away for 4. Quick outfield. Daksh Talwar not timing that to the best of his ability, and unfortunately the ball had enough on it to run away past the fielder at third man and point. Nova Scotia 79 for 5 after 13 overs. 7 overs to go. They require another 71 runs. They are certainly going to have to make the most of their final 7 overs. Kazi to continue for his second over to Anurag Nag, who is 7 off his 5 deliveries with 1 boundary. That's driven down to long off and a misfield. And that's another 4. That was very, very sloppy fielding from the long off fielder as the ball bounces off of him and ricochets to the boundary. Oh, and that's pitched up, and Anurag Nag smashes that down the ground past the bowler. Unfortunately, long off did not have a chance on that one. Some 2 very, very welcome boundaries and struck beautifully by Nag. He did it with the ball. Can he do it with the bat for his team? Third delivery, driven down, this time straight to that fielder at long off as he runs through for a single.
Arun Nag, brilliant start to the over. 2 boundaries and then a single get off strike. They need 10 and over. Just over 10 and over Manali, and they've got 9 in the first three deliveries. So brilliant start to the over. Daksh Talwar now, what can he do? He just needs to rotate a strike. They're running hard between the wickets. Get through, and there's a 10 they need. They need to make this a big one. Can they get a couple more boundaries? Maybe 1 more boundary. Turn this into a big over. Get that required rate down under 10. Again, they restricted Manitoba. Manitoba looked to be on pace for 200 early on in the innings. Kept them to 150. And now Arun Nag coming down the crease. They're running hard. Kazi going to do the cleanup job as his hat falls off. So just the 1 run. 11 runs now off the over. They're on pace here, Manali. 90 for 5. Again, it'd be beautiful for Nova Scotia, and I'm sure that their bench is going to go wild if this one goes for a boundary. Daksh Talwar, what are his boundary options? Can he get down on 1 knee? Get this back behind square leg. Can he get this over point? And he looks to carve this through point, but unable to do so. So 11 runs coming off that. Good over for Nova Scotia. Kazi doing well to pull that one back after the first 2 boundaries. And the score now 90 for 5 after 14. 60 to go off 6 overs, Manali. The required rate at exactly 10 and over. And here's the man that I was looking forward to watching, Jatinder Paul Mataru, the captain of Manitoba, Canadian international as well. Wasn't able to do a job with the bat for the team, but this is what he does. He comes in, a lot of variety in his bowling, and he's calling his own number, saying this is my job now to end this innings. He's gonna have 3 overs. 3 overs from that side. The spinners did the job. Arun Nag putting his helmet on. But Jatinder Paul Mataru, it's going to be a tough task. He's going to bowl a lot of variations. Manali, if you've seen him bowl for Canada, he likes to come around the wicket to the left-hander, over the wicket to the right-hander. A lot of cutters. He's got a big jump as well. Crease. So, again, timing is going to be key for Arun Nag to maneuver this field. And the field, Jatinder Paul going with fine-legged third man in the ring. Deep backward square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off. Deep cover. 2 men behind point. On the offside. This one again starts with a leg cutter early, and they're running hard between the wickets. This is hit down to deep mid-wicket. He's done well. Shivam Sharma doing well on the boundary coming in. He's got to do well here from this side.
You're right, not much support from the back today, but this is what he does. Oh, and that's just short of a good length. Another cutter, and there's a run-up chance as it results into a comfortable single at the end of that. Some overthrows from Mataru as he tried to get the run out, and the batters capitalize as they run through. Some confusion early on, play and a miss, and they scamper across for a leg by. Batsman not ready, bowler just backing out of his run-up. 4 deliveries to come from Matharu in this over. And that's pitched very, very full, and a play and a miss by Nag.
It's been 3 slower balls to start this over from Mataru. I said he bowls a lot of variations. 2 leg cutters to start. That one looked like more like an off cutter. So again, this wicket a little bit stickier. So Mataru is going to be very tough to put away here on this wicket. A lot of variations. There's that leg cutter again. Short. And again, Arun Nag's got to set himself up for that slower ball. He's got to set him up for that slower ball and then react to the quicker delivery. Jatinder Paul Mataru doing a job here for his team. This is his role. This is the role that he did so well for Canada down in the Caribbean. He's doing a job for his team here as well. There's been 4 slower deliveries. Let's see if there's a 5th. And it is. It's again a leg cutter, a short bouncer. He's going to dig this into the wicket. Continue to bowl these leg cutters. Arun Nag coming slower off that wicket. This wicket, a used wicket. So again, the pressure starting to mount on Arun Nag. Just the 1 run, just the 2 runs off this over so far. This has been a brilliant over from Mataru. It's going to be tough to put away. And we said he's going to bowl a lot of slower balls. That's another slower ball from Mataru. The off cutter this time. Arun Nag just managing to get that out to long off. So just the 3 runs off that over. The pressure now on Nova Scotia. They need 57 off 30 balls. 11.4 runs required and over. They're gonna need a big over from somewhere. They're gonna need that 16 to 20 run over. At this point, Arun Nag has looked good, but Mataru is really building that pressure from that other end. attack. Elias Kazi, they've done a good job this end. It's going to be seam up again as Mandeep Sandy comes in. Mataru is showing the way.
I think there is one over there.
93 for 5 in 15. It looks like it's going to be cutters from here on forth for Manitoba. They've read this wicket well. They've read this wicket well, and they're going to continue in that fashion. So we'll see what Sandy can do. That's been a very good over from Mataru, and now Sandy's got to back that up.
Absolutely, that was a fantastic previous over from the captain. Nag really struggling in that over, and now it's Silvar on strike. That looked like another slower ball, and it's driven out to the long off fielder for a single. Bringing Arun Nag on strike.
Difference in that slower ball, Manali. He slowed his action down as well. The good thing about Mataru is he bowls the same action, but bowls multiple variations with that same action. Sani not disguising that slower ball very well, slowing down his action, and Arun Nag up to the mark on that one, getting across for a single.
That's pitched short of the length and pulled down to the square leg man at the boundary. Another single, no harm done. Manitoba's not going to mind these singles at this point. Still 55 runs to get off of just 28 deliveries, and those dot balls and singles are not going to bother a very comfortable bowling side. That's full again, a slower ball. Driven down to long off for another single, and you're right, RC, the whole action slows down, not just the wrist. Very, very different from Matharu that we saw on the other end.
Yeah, they've got to set themselves up for slower deliveries only now. It looks like that's going to be the way for Manitoba. They're not pulling anything quick. As again, this is a leg cutter, but it's put away. Spoke too soon. Put away straight to the man. That deep mid wicket. It is a big boundary out there. The boundaries on the offside and leg side square of the wicket are big. Short straight to the ground, and Dax Talwar got the signal to go for it, and unfortunately just finding the man. So that's another wicket down. 95 for 6 now in 15.4. 96 for 6, apologies, after 15.4. They've got to go for it now. They need to find a big over from somewhere. It's going to be very difficult off Mataru. Saini's got to be the man to go, but unfortunately just not able to put him away.
Yeah, this is great bowling. A lot of slower balls, a lot of cutters. And the batsmen are finding it hard to put the ball away. And the fielding placement's been spot on for Matharu as well. Most of the catches out in the deep, the fielders haven't had to move an inch. Two deliveries to come in this over as Mandeep Sani tries to hopefully pick up his second. And the new man in, Zishan Ansari. He's got a tough task ahead of him, but he's got to try and play that supporting role, try and get Arun Nag on strike. Required rate very high, 12.46, and unfortunately we're going at a strike rate of 6.13, about half of what is required. That's driven beautifully down the ground. Unfortunately just one run coming off of it. They are looking for their second, but the fielder at long off gets the ball quite quick, and a sharp throw back into the bowler. Delivery for Saini in this over. Nag on strike. Can he try and capitalize on Scotia 98 for 6 after 16 overs. RC 4 overs to go. A little bit of action in the Nova Scotia camp as one of the players has snapped the legs off of the chair trying to sit on it. Don't need any injuries at this point.
Pressure building in the middle, pressure building in the camp as well. So, dang. This is going to be another variation. And that is, but it is a full toss. Hit out to Kazi at long on, but just dropped it short of him. That was the ball you've got to put away. It is a full toss. Unable to do so. So again, they need to find a boundary from somewhere. It's going to be very difficult off Mataru. Lots of experience for him. Coming over the wicket now to Ansari. And the task getting tougher and tougher here, Manali. They need to find a way. Find a way. Start innovating. Find a gap somewhere. But again, when the wickets come in, the dot balls start to add up. The gaps get smaller and smaller. As you see Mataru now, another slower ball. This one's hit straight in the air. It is carrying with the wind, but Amrinder Dillon not able to get to it. They're going to be able to come back for 2. If they can't get the boundary, you need the runs on Alf every delivery. And you can see Ansari saying to himself, that's a leg cutter. He's rolling his fingers down the seam there, Manali, and he's doing it really well.
Great variations from the captain Matharu here. Just not allowing any leeway whatsoever to the Nova Scotian batters. That's a slower ball, a cutter as well. And Ansari not reading that early on. This is fantastic bowling from the Manitoba captain. Ansari batting on 3 off of his 2 deliveries. And that's another cutter. Unfortunately, Ansari not reading it, not getting to the pitch of the ball. It is tough going out there for these 2 batters.
And what's been impressive is like 2 different cutters. Both leg cutters. One where he's really ripping his fingers down the seam, and the other one just holding it with that leg cutter grip and allowing the wicket to do what it's going to do. This wicket's starting to get a little funny there. And there once again, that quicker cutter. So it's been impressive stuff from Mataru. He's not giving batsmen anything to work with. They're going to have to produce all the power, but again, it's cutting off that wicket. This is a used wicket. The same wicket that was used for Canada and Nepal last week. Same wicket that was used for 3 games yesterday. And Mataru using all this experience here to really bog down Ansari. He's got to find a way to get off strike. This one again, slightly quicker. Hit through the offside. Kamaljot getting a hand on it. Saved 2 runs for his team. But they are going to be able to come back for 2. And Ansari able to do so. And this now is becoming a mammoth task. 3 overs to go. 47 required. Required rate at 15.67. Sure, they're not going to be worried about the required rate. It's just about the 47 runs needed. It doesn't matter if you get them all in 1 over, which unfortunately is going to prove difficult, next to impossible, or you get them in 2 or you get them in 3, but you've got 18 deliveries to get 47 runs. You got to find a way to do it. And at this stage now, the singles aren't going to cut it. You're going to need some boundaries, and Arun Nag has looked to be the only man in the latter half of this innings to be able to put the ball away. As we see Saini run in for his 2nd over. This one again, a slower delivery. Ernag looked like he was readying himself for that slower delivery, but just unable to capitalize on that.
Yeah, Saini coming in for his 2nd over. First delivery, another slower ball. We're starting to see a lot of slower balls, a lot of cutters. This is some great variation from the Pacers of Manitoba. Smart bowling. And that's pitched full, and it's driven out into covers for a single. Unfortunately, the singles just aren't going to cut it for Nova Scotia at this point. That required rate now climbing to almost 16. just making sure that he knows where the fielders are. That's pitched full again, scampering through for singles. Let's hit out to find leg. A lot of chatter out there from the Manitoba fielders now, supporting their bowler, backing their bowler up. They know they're on top of this game and as this inning's coming to a close very soon. That slower ball and hit down to the deep cover fielder for another single.
And again, the difference in the slower deliveries from Mataru and Sandy, slowing down his action. Mataru really digging it into the wicket, making it talk off the wicket as well. Sandy looking to pitch his slower balls a little bit fuller. He needs to pull his length back on those slower balls. And there again, slow but full. Able to get some bat on it. Run out opportunity and misses, but buzzers. It's going to be buzzers. They're coming back for two. And able to do so. Mataru looking for that run out. Going for an again, no cover on that leg side, Manali. This has been a staple of this bowling innings. Is they're saying we're going to put a ring on the offside. We're going to put three men back on the leg side. You can take all the singles and doubles you want, but you're not going to get any boundaries. As you see Sandy running in here to Ansari. Another slower ball. It's a full toss, however. He's able to get it down. Just going to be one bounce to Kamal. He does the cleanup job. So again, happy to give away the singles, but no boundaries. As the score now, 109 for 6 and 18. 41 needed. 41 needed off 13 balls. I said they're going to need one over of 20. They're going to need two now, Manali.
Yeah, unfortunately, the required run rate is almost at 20. And that is a lot of scoreboard pressure, especially when you're 6 wickets down, pretty much into the tail end of your batting lineup. And these two batters have really, really struggled, especially against the batting and the variation of Matharu as he comes in for his third over. It's a slower ball that's hit high up in the air, and that's a drop catch at the long on fielder, and that is 6 runs as he tips it over the boundary. He's signaling 4, however the umpire has called it 6. You can hear the Manitoba camp just trying to communicate with their batters that he's just bowling slower balls. Just watch him, wait for those deliveries. A welcome 6, however, that first ball of the Matharu over to Ansari.
Yeah, an Erden length there from Mataru. Getting fuller. He hasn't bowled many full deliveries. He's really looking to dig into the pitch. He's got to get back to that. Make it tough for Ansari here. And Ansari's going to be looking. And that, again, is full inside edge, but they're running through for a single. So again, Ansari setting himself up for that slower ball. He might have been listening to us, Manali. Setting himself up for the slower ball. Mataru has not bowled a full-pace delivery yet in his spell, and he's into his third over. Every delivery to date has been some type of variation, whether it's a leg cutter, whether it's a slower delivery. So he's bowled well so far. That's 6 in that over. Arun Nag now on strike. And this one again is hit high in the air, but it's not going to get anywhere. It's going to go straight up to the cover fielder. A little bit of a... Manali, these guys don't want to make it easy for us. They want to get our blood pressure going as that one bounced out of his hands, but straight up. And an easy catch. Arun Nag has to go. Played decently for his 25 off 21, 22 deliveries, but not enough for his team. And now 114 for 7 in 18.3 overs. As we see the new man, Adnan Rao, coming in. Didn't have a great time of it with the ball, but he's got to do the job now with the bat. He's a well-built man, Manali, and he's got to put all his power in behind this ball and get a few over the rope.
Yeah, tough day at the office with the ball earlier for Rao. However, he's out here to bat now, and his team need him to score 36 runs. And that's straight back up past the bowler's head, past the fielder at long on and another maximum. Unfortunately, thought we were going for a few runs this over after two very, very well bowled overs. Nova Scotia really need these boundaries. 24 runs off of 8 deliveries. That's a short ball and that's hit straight down the ground again. However, just a single on offer this time as the long on fielder throws the ball back into the bowler.
Free hit here for Adnan Rao. One delivery left in this over. Zishan Ansari's got to take majority of the strike in the last over. He looks to be the man to produce the goods here. Mataru, another slower ball, and Adnan Rao looked to throw the kitchen sink, the oven, the fridge, the dishwasher, everything at that, but unable to connect. And so 1 over to go now. 121 for 7 after 19. 1 over to go. 29 runs. Improbable, but not impossible, Manali. They're asking for 4 sixes. They're going to need a little bit more than that. They're going to need 4 sixes in a boundary to just tie this game. Every delivery here has to go. And the man, Mandeep Saini, has been asked to do the job. Zishan Ansari has put 2 over. He got 2 boundaries in the last over against Mataru. He's going to have to need more than that here. But he is the man that they want on strike as Saini runs in. Slower delivery. This one's hit out to long off. They've got to come back for 2. Adnan Rao has to come back. He's got to come back, and they choose not to. So they just get the single, and now, Manali, they've got 5 deliveries, 28 to go. 4 sixes and a 4. Is that too much to ask for?
I think a little tough of an ask, especially when you've got Adnan Rao on strike and he's yet to get off the mark. Then again, never say never. That's a slower ball and that's picked up straight down the ground. However, straight to the long off fielder for a single. Adnan Rao off strike with a single, and now Ansari knows he's got a job to do. 27 runs required off the last 4 deliveries. I mean, Nova Scotia still optimistic, but tough ask. And that's again hit down to long off. They're looking to run 2. There's some confusion and sent back. At the end of that, just 1 run coming off of that delivery. Saini will be quite pleased with this effort so far. He's gone for 13 in his 2.2 overs. Oh, and that was out. I'm sorry, I completely missed that. That was a fantastic effort with that rocket throw, and that confusion unfortunately has led to a run out.
This is the man I wanted to see, Manali. There's an Arslan umpiring, there's an Arslan commentating, and now there's going to be an Arslan basing. This is what we came to see. Arslan Khan, the wicketkeeper. The trilogy has been completed. We just need an Arslan to bowl. Mandeep Saini instead. It's going to be 3 deliveries left. He's had a great start to this over. Just got to ensure he keeps his foot behind that line. No extras here, and this job is all but done. Saini to Arslan Khan. Arslan Khan hitting this over cover, and unfortunately he has to go. Managing to find that point fielder. So Arslan Khan has to depart for a golden duck. Much like my batting, he's got to go. And now the task, again, all but done, but he's just got to make sure. Zishan Ansari's got to face these last 2 deliveries. Mandeep Saini's got to keep behind that line with just 1 wicket to go. Nova Scotia, this innings coming to a slow death. Unfortunately, it might be a bit harsh for me, but it is coming to that. So now the score, 124 for 9 in 19.4. 2 deliveries to go for Mandeep Saini. Manali, I nearly snatched that mic out of your hands when I saw Arslan Khan walking out, but I'm going to hand it right back to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, RC. The trilogy came to an end a lot faster than you would have hoped, I think. 2 deliveries left in this innings. Saini's picked up his second. He's bowled very well and partnered very well in a supporting bowling role with Matharu. Akash Airy, the new man in, facing his first delivery. That is hit over covers for a single, calls for 2. However, they're going to be content with 1, trying not to get a run out, as this is the last batting partnership, last wicket, and just 1 more delivery to go in this over. Nova Scotia, of course, a very young side in this tournament. First time that we're seeing them. They had no idea what they were coming out to when they were facing other provinces. And Saini, full toss, that's hit out to cover, and a comfortable catch to the short extra cover fielder, and that brings up the final wicket of Nova Scotia, the final delivery of the innings, and Saini finishing his spell with 3 wickets to his name. A great win for Manitoba today. They started with the bat quite positively. Unfortunately not able to kick on as much as they would have liked with the bat, but they've certainly done the job with the ball. They have put in a very, very clinical performance. The fielding was spot on, the catches were taken, the bowling was spot on, and unfortunately Nova Scotia just not able to bring in the batting required to chase down this total.
Yeah, a lot of positives for both sides, but a lot of things to work on for both sides as well. So Nova Scotia going to be disappointed, but they should be proud of themselves for restricting Manitoba to 149 after the start that they had of 75 for 1.
Just wait for
Manitoba just clinical with the ball. Nova Scotia 125 all out in their allotted 20 overs. So a 24-run win for Manitoba. Great start to the day here as well. So good game of cricket all around. Matharu and Saini doing the ball the last 6 overs. Not going for many, just going for 35 in the last 6. So that's brilliant stuff. 1 for 20 for Matharu, 3 for 15 for Mandeep Saini. Amrinder Dhillon and Shivam Sharma really put a stranglehold in that middle innings with their spin. 2 for 25 for Dhillon, 2 for 25 for Shivam Sharma. And again, not much to talk about in the Nova Scotia innings. So that brings the end to Game 1. We'll be back in just a little while. Please do join us in just over half an hour for Game 2. Thank you once again for tuning in here bright and early on a Tuesday morning. And we'll see you very shortly.